5th of November if President Halla Tómasdóttir accepts the motion to dissolve Parliament. But one member of the coalition said the decision had come as a surprise.
Það hefði verið sameiginlegur skilningur okkar að það mikilvægasta væri efnahagsmálin. Ég vil líka nefna bara húsnæðismálin og málefni venjulegs fólks bara ná endum saman. Ég hefði haldið að það væri svona kannski brýnasta verkefnið en nú kemur það í ljós í yfirferð forsætisráðherra að það eru önnur mál.
The ruling coalition, in power since November 2021, has faltered under a raft of problems, particularly after a series of volcanic eruptions in the country forced thousands to evacuate their homes. That put more pressure on an economy already dealing with high inflation and rising interest rates. Kamala Harris has used a campaign rally in North Carolina to slam Donald Trump for spreading misinformation about the Biden administration's hurricane response. The Democratic presidential nominee praised the heroes all around who are helping residents without regard to political affiliation. She blasted those who tried to gain political advantage from other people's misfortune, saying it wasn't the time to incite fear, adding that's not what leaders do. Trump made a series of false claims after Helene struck in late September, including saying that Washington was intentionally withholding aid from Republicans in need across the Southeast. While Harris was speaking in Greenville, Biden was in Florida to inspect hurricane-damaged areas, his second visit this month. The president said he was thankful that Milton wasn't as bad as officials had anticipated, but that it was still a cataclysmic event for many people. With only 22 days until the 5th of November presidential election, the race is as close as ever. A new CNN poll of polls average shows no clear leader, with an average of 50% of voters expected to support Harris and 47% backing Trump.
Reception centres built by Italy in Albania are now ready to host migrants, 11 months after the agreement between the two countries was signed. At a first stage, a maximum of 400 people are being sent there. Only men rescued by Italian ships in the Mediterranean Sea and transported to Albania. Italian staff are running the centre, with interpreters, medical visits and the possibility of applying for asylum guaranteed.
In questi locali le persone migranti verranno sistemate, identificate, curate se necessario, ma vi resteranno soltanto il tempo strettamente necessario alle procedure di identificazione, poche ore prima di essere trasportate verso l'altro centro.
The village of Yadar is a 30-minute drive inland. Here, the major centre is located, divided into 6 parts. It is supposed to host up to 3,000 people in the future. The main section is meant to house asylum seekers while their requests are being processed. Applications must be answered within 28 days according to the accelerated procedure foreseen in Italian law. During this time, applicants will be able to meet lawyers and staff from international organisations. Those who are not entitled to asylum end up in another part of the camp.
Questo è il centro di permanenza e rimpatrio, è il luogo dove verranno alloggiate le persone che vedranno rifiutate le proprie domande di asilo. Ci sono decine di posti e se la capienza verrà sforata, queste persone migranti verranno trasferite in Italia in attesa di essere poi rimpatriate nei paesi di origine.
There is also a prison with a capacity of 20 places for migrants who commit crimes. But in fact, the entire centre of Yadar is a place of forced detention, fenced off and monitored by Italian police officers. Nobody is allowed to leave it.
I richiedenti asilo che vedranno accolta la propria domanda di protezione internazionale saranno trasferiti in Italia con un regolare permesso di soggiorno. Quelli che invece riceveranno un diniego saranno rimpatriati nei paesi d'origine, sempre a spese e sotto la responsabilità dell'Italia. Per costruire queste strutture sono stati impiegati decine di milioni di euro, ma le autorità non sono in grado di quantificare il costo complessivo delle procedure per i 5 anni della durata dell'accordo tra Italia e Albania. Vincenzo Genovese, Euronews, Jader.
The Dresden Symphony Orchestra presented an innovative world premiere on Saturday. Instead of a flesh and bone individual conducting the performance, 3 robotic arms guided the musicians as they played a bespoke piece titled Robot Symphony.
Wir wollen keinen Dirigenten ersetzen. Ich glaube nämlich daran, dass ein Mensch das auf jeden Fall immer besser machen kann. Die Probenarbeit, die Mimik. Wenn man jetzt zum Beispiel, nehmen wir mal an, in Beethoven spielen würde, das braucht man mit so einem Roboter nicht. Das ist sinnlos. Ne? Aber wenn man jetzt ein Stück schreiben lässt, was daraus Kapital schlägt, dass das Orchester in verschiedenen Geschwindigkeiten spielt, in verschiedenen Taktarten, dann macht es Sinn. Das gibt es auf der ganzen Welt nicht.
The East German Musical Institution celebrated its 25-year anniversary by looking into the future. The Dresden Symphony Orchestra is known for pushing boundaries, which this time even challenged its musicians.
Was ganz anderes. Es ist halt auch ohne Gnade, ne? Also es wartet auf niemand, es zieht durch wie eine Maschine.
Attendees of the debut performance lauded the innovation, with others stating the piece, riddled with multiple time signatures, sounded like it came from a single source.
COP29 is definitely the most important event of this year. We have a common challenge and a common goal. This is the time when everyone needs to come together.
As a host country, we have a unique opportunity to be the center of the discussions, to be the bridge between South and North, between the developing and developed countries.
Every single member of this society is very excited to welcome everyone in Baku. Baku Stadium will be serving as the main venue for COP29. We have very solid infrastructure which can accommodate an event of this magnitude.
Many different design elements have been taken into consideration of sustainability, and especially its afterlife and repurposing after COP.
Any visitor, any tourist, any delegate who will be visiting our beautiful city will see welcoming attitude, behavior from everyone. The ultimate objective is to deliver the best visitor journey ever.
Our hospitality, our culture, our nature. We would like to show to the participants how this country is ready to take this leadership to provide these climate discussions in Azerbaijan.
Embark on a tour of the European Union with Smart Regions to discover flagship projects boasting regions across Europe. Learn how initiatives are improving lives and hear from the people who are part of the change. See how reducing regional disparities brings real benefits to communities across the EU. Visit the regions where EU projects have tangible impacts on people's lives with Smart Regions on Euronews and Euronews.com.
Euronews. The news.
At least 4 soldiers have been killed and around 60 others severely wounded in a Hezbollah drone attack on an army base in central Israel. It's the deadliest strike by the militant group on Israeli territory since the IDF launched its ground operation into Lebanon nearly 2 weeks ago.
הזירה הייתה קשה, הפגיעת כטב"ם גרמה לנפגעי גם הדף וגם רסס רב שהיה, פציעות קשות, הפצועים נזקקו לטיפול מציל חיים, חסימות כלי דם, טיפול תרופתי מציל חיים ופונו במהירות לבתי חולים.
Hezbollah said the attack near Binyamina was in retaliation for Israeli strikes on Beirut on Thursday that killed 22 people. The group also said it launched dozens of missiles to occupy Israeli air defense systems, which set off air raid sirens further north in the city of Haifa. Hezbollah is ideologically aligned with the Gaza-based militant group Hamas and began firing at Israel a day after the war in the Strip started in October last year. Those almost daily exchanges of fire have displaced tens of thousands of people on both sides of the border. Israel has carried out increasingly heavy strikes into parts of Lebanon far from the southern border, including the capital Beirut, and at the end of September launched a ground offensive. It's estimated there are 15,000 Israeli soldiers operating in Lebanon. The health ministry says more than 1,400 people have been killed in Lebanon since September, but doesn't say how many were Hezbollah fighters. At least 58 people have been killed in rocket attacks on Israel, nearly half of them soldiers. The leader of Lithuania's Social Democrats says she'll try to form a majority coalition government as her party leads the exit polls in the first round of the country's parliamentary elections. Speaking in Vilnius, Vilija Blinkevičiūtė said the results showed that Lithuanians want change. On the campaign trail, the SD pledged to tackle rising inequality by hiking taxes on wealthier Lithuanians to pump more money into sectors like healthcare. Prime Minister Ingrida Šimonytė has faced criticism for strict measures during the COVID-19 pandemic, with many complaining that her government didn't do enough to help companies during lockdown. Others say thousands of people didn't have access to healthcare services. Šimonytė has also been lambasted for her handling of migrants arriving via Belarus. National security is also a concern for Lithuania, which is part of NATO and the European Union. Lithuania has been a staunch ally of Ukraine and a strong critic of the Russian invasion. Since the start of the war in February 2022, the Lithuanian government has provided military aid.
You're not working, you're here. Kako ide život?
Vilnius had provided 153 million
I was playing
alone.
Teamfight Tactics yesterday, and you know what else I downloaded? I downloaded stupid Pocket Camp. It's like, what's the name of that game where you go around and you chill with animals? It's like cute and shit. Well, basically I'm playing that, but like a mobile version. It's like a soothing game in a way, so I understand. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift. Holy crap! I'll be working those an entire week in November. So I feel ya, man. I feel ya. It sucks, doesn't it? Because like, what is that? What is that shift? You have no time in the morning. You have no time in the evening. You have no time at all. What is that shift? I can't properly drink my coffee if I have to work. It's 10 a.m. I can't drink my coffee. But then also, I can't have lunch. But then, I don't know, I come home, I ain't making dinner. I'm not making dinner at that time. I'm home by like 7. I'm not cooking at 7 in the evening. Past 3 years, how the fuck? How do you get nourishment? 11 to 19? It's the same shit, isn't it? It's the same fucking shit. That's so stupid. I don't know what I'm gonna do for an entire week. Holy crap, how did you survive? Because like, there's nothing, there's no time, there's no time on either side of the shift. It's just the entire day, it's just work and then sleep. And then like either recovering from work or recovering from sleep. That is so stupid. Why? How the hell? You should be one of those. Have you ever thought about being one of those people who like get up really early in the morning? Maybe that could help. I got a Facebook reel recommended to me recently, and it was a woman who gets up like a madman at like 4 in the morning, but then she has enough time to do shit, and her shift starts at 9. So she starts going to work at 8:30, and she actually has a few hours, you know, in between. But waking up at 4, that's insane. I go to sleep at 4. How? 1 or 2 night shifts. Oh, is night shift better? Wait, isn't it?
While Harris was speaking in Greenville,
can't you have
Biden
all
was in
night
Florida
shifts?
to inspect hurricane-damaged areas. His
Wouldn't
second
that?
visit this
Why
month.
can't you have all night shifts? I feel that would be the best.
No,
No, you do that and now. Oh shit! Yeah, you go to photography. Oh shit! But it's a Shiara trip to Maribor. Then work 7 a.m. Saturday. 7 a.m. That's morning. Get up at early in the morning on Saturday. Bro. Yeah, on a Saturday. On a Saturday. Like, I'm pretty sure God would have something against that. On fucking Saturday, 7 a.m. When do you have to get up? At 6 at least? Holy shit, that's insane. I hope you're making a crap load of money. I hope you're making crap loads of money. Holy crap, man. Go to gig 10 p.m. I mean, you're booked. That's good, isn't it? You're booked, which means a lot of people want you to photograph them, which means get a lot of cash.
Trump, the Republican nominee for November's presidential election, has been the target of 2 assassination attempts in recent months.
But yeah, wild. I'm feeling sorry for that. I'll have to go to the... In next month, I'll have a week of working 10 to 6, and then I'll have a week of going to that stupid... How is it called? The Higgins minimum. You go to classes and then you do a test at the end of the week. So what I'll be having to do is work in my morning shift, and then from the morning going to classes, and then ending the classes. Who the fuck knows when, but I'll be home at like 4 to 5. So basically, I'm kind of enjoying life while I still have it. Hey, yeah, and how are you doing? How's life going? How's everything? But also, I did a really, really cool drawing for OSIC, and now I'm trying to work on a set of drawings that I'm hoping to be finishing 1 per week. But I don't know if I'm able to do 1 per week. Hey, yo, poodles, how are you doing? I'm hoping to finish 1 per week, and I'm hoping to do them for Mass Effect. You don't have high time for that. Look what I saved. I basically tried to do. Look at this. The opening of the stream is less politics and more me talking about my failures, alright? Because I opened Canva, and I was like, I'm gonna ask AI to design me some Turian schools. Because I was like, how the fuck do Turians look? I want to do all my school-based designs, but I don't know what their schools look like. And basically I did this, and I asked for a few things, and I said a few things, and you know what I've learned then? None of these are good. None of these are good. All of these are shit. And they're shit because Turians don't even have teeth. Did you know they don't have teeth? Now you know. They don't have teeth. What they do have is a beak. Because what a Turian is a bird of prey with an exoskeleton. That's that. Like, there's no teeth in this bitch. So yeah. Yeah, nah, I wanted to save like for wait, let me show you. Which one of them has the thing? None of them actually. No. This one has the lines that I wanted to steal. Look at this. I want these lines. I like these lines because I stole these lines for my other work that I did on OSIC. I took lines from like several different school paintings because I like the thing where you do like the shadow. I figured out it looks really, really cool to me. I like the thing where you do the shadow and then you draw the line around it, if it makes sense. I really, really like that, right? So what I wanted is for this to give me basically that, so I can steal the lines, right? But nah, they're wrong, and the teeth are all wrong. So I'll just have to look at like the proper ones, which is the proper concept art. I don't know if you've seen this. There's also the one with like movements. Check this out. Like if you ever had a parrot. If you ever had a parrot, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly how he moves. And I saved a few searches of like schools of birds of prey to have that, but I'll have to go from this instead. I won't be able to use the AI ones. Sick motorcycle helmets though, indeed. Indeed, very, very good ones. Like, look at this shit. I like the muscles. I like some of the parts. They just don't fit for what I was trying to find. But look at that. Look at this. Look at the come on. Look how cool it is. Not how expensive helmets are though. Like if you know how to make that shit. I was trying to find had the idea for a Halloween costume of that alien. Just alien from the movies. Tried to find that. So what I did is I went to Etsy and I was like, hey, I wonder for how much, you know, I could buy a fucking just a helmet, because I thought it would be like $100. Bro, nah, 500. 500 for like the most basic one, which is basically, you know, you just like stick it in and it's hard and it doesn't move or anything. 500 something, ridiculously expensive. But yeah, basically use this shit if you want something fun. No good helmets below 200 euros. Yeah, I wanted to buy one for my little cousin too, for Christmas, because I don't know what he wants. And I know he's a biker, so I was like, I'm gonna get him a gift card so he can buy himself a helmet. But yeah. You got some helmets in the shop between 75 and 175. Hey! I need that shit. Oh shit, I need that shit. Oh, it says to me,
redeemed. Share your thoughts.
Message only visible. Wait, let me see why. Message only visible by me and mods. Oh my dude, you're getting restricted. I don't know why you're restricted, but like, you are restricted. Track user, highlight message. Why? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? Customize login. No, I don't want to do that. I want to see what's the restriction about. How does that even happen? Oh, suspicious user. Ah, okay, wait. Okay, I think you're fine now. I think you're fine now, are you? Oh. Oh, that's ridiculous. Now you know what happened. We have, yeah. There's like the ban sharing, and I was ban sharing with someone who banned you in their chat. So because they banned you in their chat, you got restricted in my chat, and all of your messages had like a warning sign next to them, and I had to approve you as a user. I didn't know you can do that. Want to get my boyfriend biker jacket? Oh yeah, they're so expensive. Man, we have a thing here where like a bunch of religious people come around for religious festivals, bullshit. And they have a thing where like the priest blesses the bikers, the motorcycles. So like you come here and you get your motorcycles in and the priest is like, whoa, may you be safe on your travels. It doesn't really work, a lot of them die. But whoa, may you be safe on your travels and may you not get hit by a fucking tractor, which happened a few years back. After the priest blessed them, so he's not really efficient, I guess. But I had a friend who was driving these motorcycles around, and at one point, like, she brought the entire gang into the store. I wasn't working there at the time, but she brought the entire gang into the store, and they were like, hey, it's really hot outside, like, can we leave the jackets around? Can we just like leave the jackets in the store in the back so we know they're gonna be safe? And then we'll come pick them up after the mass ends, right? And the store workers were like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So they all left their stupidly expensive jackets right in the back. And we were like, hey, how much do these jackets cost? Like, what's the worth of them? Because we see you have some really, really cool ones. And one of the workers was even like, oh, I'm thinking about like getting something similar. And she was like, no, you'd have to go to like tens of thousands of euros to be able to like get what we have here. It's now. Like they collect money for that for fucking years. Most of these people, you wouldn't believe the jobs they work. Most of these people are like fucking lawyers and shit like that. So they get really good paychecks and they buy really expensive shit. When you see a biker like driving on the street in front of you, what he's wearing is likely worth more than your entire fucking car. It's wild how expensive that shit is. I genuinely had no idea. What's the point? And now they go like, I mean, it's kind of wholesome, I guess. I like the idea of, you know how there's a thing with like religious people being mentally healthier. Religious people are mentally better because religious people keep the community functioning. They have a group and it hangs out together, right? So in a way, that's how I see it. I think that's why they go to these events. The events obviously don't work, right? But you go there to meet other bikers and to hang out with them, and you go to lunch afterwards. So it's kind of fun. You see other parts of the country. Very often we get people who are from like complete faraway places. We get people from the seaside coming in if they're visiting. We get people from Bosnia. We get people from Serbia. We just get them from all over, and they all come, you know, to get their motorcycles blessed. So it's kind of wholesome. I like that. It's cutish. No, my coffee is not going to spill, but thank you. I'm really, really careful when it comes to the best thing in my life currently. Complete suits boots that cost 2,000, 3,000 euros easy. Man. Or clothes that cost more than my bike and clothes combined. I know one of them specifically said 8,000. And it wasn't even a jacket, it was a... Those comments come after an Israeli what's the name for that little thing? Like a vest. Like the sleeveless little thing. It was really heavy leather though. I don't know what it's made from. I don't know what goes into it. I remember it was really, really heavy, and I remember it had a lot of those like really, really cool patches around. But yeah, he was 8,000 specific, and I was like, fuck off. Like, fuck off. Ish. 33k euros, not more than a normal car. I would say here, like the one we have, it was like, I think 1,500. Maybe they're more expensive where you are. But yeah, I think two to three might even be a bit more, but I do live in a village part of the country. Like we regularly have cars here selling for like 500, 600, 700 euros. So it's like I'm coming from my perspective. Most rare stuff that's in the hundreds of euros. Oh, it's like one paycheck. You had 3 jackets that were between 130 and 300 euros. Holy shit! That's really cool though. Wait, I have to save the website. I have to save your website. Opening the website. I love the little design thing. That's so cute. Oh, that is adorable. And then in center, and then like 3 dots. Oh, I love that. I love that. It was made in 2007. I love it. I love it. A very graphic design is my passion. You know what I mean? It's cute, it's cute. It's working, which is a lot more. Oh, nice, you have these too. Oh, cool. It's working, and that's a lot more than I usually expect from websites. So that's really, really cool. From 2007? Nice, man. Holy shit.
Iceland's coalition government
That's
is
cool. You
led
got
by
links to
Benedict
Newscall and
Zone's
everything. That's actually
Conservative
nice.
Independence Party, the centre-right Progressive Party, and the leftist Greens.
Whoa. Ah, okay. Yeah, nice actually. Holy shit. And the gallery won't open. Whoa.
Benedict Zone said parliamentary elections are slated to take place on the 30th of November.
Oh, okay.
Accepts the motion to dissolve
The best.
Parliament.
Wait, you have the best service in Osijek? Genuinely, because like I've got an uncle. I've got an uncle who's really having a lot of problems with his bikes. And we're looking whether he can fix his bikes. It's you know what the situation is. Let me explain it to you. He buys bikes regularly, and right now he has like I think 2 of the ones that he really likes. One of them has like those big tires, those big fat thick tires. And one of them is like that, and the other one is basically a tricycle, like a big one for a grown-up person, not a baby tricycle, a huge tricycle. But here's the thing: my uncle, real fat, real fat person, all right? Like 130 kilograms, not chubby fat. He's like pure muscle, but the muscle still has a lot of weight. So when he drives to work, he regularly fucks up these bicycles. So right now we're trying to figure out a way to like either find a really strong bike to buy, or to figure out how to fix the ones that he has right now to make them sturdier, and we don't really know what to do. It's genuinely like a family problem at this point. We have 2 bikes that we could be going to buy. One of them is supposed to be really strong, but like that I don't know. Needs to stop buying in Prgovački Stevri. I don't know where to buy. I don't know where the ones he has are bought, to be completely honest. I just know they were really good for a while, and then he broke them, and then he had the idea of fixing them, but of course, you know, like once you fix a thing that's broken, it's not really that sturdy anymore, especially if you fix it with your lacking knowledge of fixing things. So GTA in-game internet, yeah, that's too. I mean, it's cool though. They start falling apart really quickly, even if they're good. Oh shit, so we should go to something proper, and then we should get it fixed there. I need to remember that. Hey, okay, Alice, how are you doing? Tattoo and piercing is literally the same weight which where.
Medical visits and the possibility of applying for asylum guaranteed.
Because like I had the idea, but it's dumbass, but I had the idea that they just like get to the bikes properly. Yeah, no, it's alright, go to your work. I didn't know. Trgovački centri put the bikes together themselves. I don't know why I assumed that they like, you know, get them professionally assembled and just like put them out there. I mean, who the fuck would be professionally assembling them? I was a dumbass. He needs to go to job. I need to go to job. You're at your job. Little loser.
During this time,
why are you so mean? Why are you so mean? That is cruel. That is cruel. But yeah, thank you for joining, DB. Good luck at your work. Run. Sit on your bicycle and go really quickly. Fuck, what did I want to talk about? I forgot. Oh, yeah. Wanted to go quickly through the upcoming elections we have. So we've got stuff in Moldova. We've got stuff in Georgia. We've got certain stuff in Croatia too. So maybe that also. But Moldova right now is the most important one because Moldova is actually having elections this week, I think. What date is it today? Yeah, Moldova is having elections this week and then Georgia is having elections next week. Moldovan elections are going to be for their presidential candidate, and somewhere I saved it, right here. Presidential candidate, currently the president of Moldova is Maia Sandu, and she is proper? Let's say proper. She's proper. She's alright. Now, what's going to happen with the ones upcoming? I've got no idea. I did save a few news articles about this, few videos, so we can go through those. But I'm not really too positive about the situation. We have already seen reports of pro-Russian political parties organizing marches through the city, like pensioner marches. Pensioners are really, really easy to get on the wrong side of politics for whichever reason. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Yucky Mickey. No, we're not. I mean, we are kind of fucked, actually. I wanted to be positive, but I'm not. We are kind of fucked, but I don't think we're as fucked as we could be. Know what I mean? It's like, it's fucked, but it's level of fucked that's like... Let me see. Slovakia? Maybe like Slovakia. Level of fucked, you know what I mean? Maybe Czech Republic even? Something like that. I don't think we're like Hungary level fucked. Or Serbia level fucked, you know what I mean? There's like layers. And I think our layers are quite bad, but not as bad as, you know, some other people have it. Yeah, mid. We can't even get fucked properly. It's like the first few inches. Anime of Zaki and Mickey, please no. Actually, yeah, I feel I would love that. I feel I would, you know what I would love? I would love animes made with political actors, like overall presidents, prime ministers, everything. I feel it would be a good way to manipulate people into knowing what's going on in politics. Because right now a lot of people don't give a shit, and I understand they don't give a shit, because politicians are fucking boring. Have you seen your average politician? They're so boring. I swear to God, they're such boring people. We have, you Croats know this, we have presidential elections coming soon, December this year, right? How many candidates do you know? You know two of them. And very likely, you don't actually know two of them. You know one of them, who's the current president, and you know that the other group, HDZ, is going to elect someone of their own, but you don't know who that is going to be, because you don't give a shit about the dude. He's so boring. He's so bland. They all have bland candidates. The left, bland, boring candidates. The right-wingers, bland, boring candidates. Everyone's just so boring, and everyone's so mid. And bleh. So I hate it. Bleh. I want to know. Zaki, you baka! Zaki, what do you have? And then we would have a war like Naruto. Holy shit, can you imagine that? Imagine that? Milanovic running to Pantov chocolate. Oh shit, I would love that actually. Anyways, with parodies of Ukrainian politics. See, that's a good thing. Did it get more people to vote? Or did it not? I feel it would not. I don't actually know, because we had a discussion here about whether we should mandate voting, whether we should force people to get out to vote, and I don't know. I've got no idea, but I'm feeling this might be a way to like softly encourage them rather than actually forcing them, you know? It's like, hey, you participate in a society, you breathe in a society, in a democracy. That means that you can make choices, alright? That means you are influencing the society. So go and influence it in a proper direction, you little fool. Game of Thrones? And other little houses. Oh, what's the name of those deranged ones? Greyjoys. Am I thinking of the proper ones? Yeah, Greyjoys. I feel Domovinski Pocket would be. They're kind of grey in my mind, very squid-like. Man, that would be fucking amazing. Oh, Mojima would be those ones. What's the name? They have that woman who's like breastfeeding her adult son in a tower up there. And then they just like chunk her down. I feel they would be that just because of like the mess that they are creating in Zagreb. Whenever I get people from Zagreb talking about the political situation, I see them bitching about Mojima. I don't even know if it's that drastic, because Mojima, politician in Osijek, she was actually really good. Don't know if you looked into her. She was really, really good. She worked on... she was writing shit after the war here ended. So she was actually like rather good. She knows a lot about the situation, you know what I mean? But like, I feel the party overall is not really as normal as she is. Some billionaire must say to build a wall and make Serbs pay for it. Yeah, you see, I wish to see that in politics. I wish our right-wingers were actually like, you know what guys, we're gonna build a wall to keep the Serbs out and the Hungarians too. So just a wall against Serbia and Hungary overall. And then also Dodik's part of Bosnia. We can also wall that out because why would we need them? I would actually support that. I would actually be GG with that. But no, what we have from right-wingers are people going, well, don't you think that it's a bit sussy that like we get foreign workers around? I'm just saying, I'm just like, don't you think it's a bit... Like, do you see how many foreign workers we have? What do you think about that? It's such a stupid thing. I saw a meme actually on Twitter recently and I saved it just to bully my conservative friends. And the meme was about how conservative people, here it is, conspiracy, conservative guys, they're too pussy to even make a specific claim. It's always some, I've got a bad feeling about this Scoob, vague bullshit, like unironically, because whenever I talk to one specific one of them, he's always like, well, don't you think it's a bit weird that this is happening? Like, don't you think it's a bit weird that, like, if a foreign person comes into the country, like someone from like Nepal or something, and you have a child with that man, you're going to be more distantly related. He has a chart that he pulls from Twitter. You're going to be more distantly related to like this child than you are to me because I'm a fellow white person. You're going to be more separated genetically from your child than you are from me. Don't you think that's a bit weird? What the fuck are you talking about? I think you're a bit weird. Local council elections that have compulsory voting? Oh! Shit, that would be ridiculous here. No, I wish we could get that. I wish we get that. Because I was actually thinking. I was thinking about like what would happen if instead of punishing people for not going to elections, we rewarded them for coming to elections. But then I feel it would create a situation where you would get people voting in elections who you don't want to be voting in elections. Know what I mean? You would just get the absolute fucking edgelord little teenagers who want to be voting for Bernard, but they're too lazy to get out from their house. But now it's like, oh, you can get a little reward for voting. Yeah, I'm actually gonna go and vote for Bernard because why the fuck shouldn't I? He's a degenerate at all. Yeah, very, very political stream. Very, very political stream. Vote for whichever party is paying the most. Oh, shit. I feel that might be a problem in the current situation where the Russians are paying a lot of politicians because they obviously have the funds they're willing to use. Make it to reward something boring like a sack of potatoes. Stealing Fidesz policies. Is that what we're doing right now? Learning from Orban himself? Sack of potatoes and like 1 kilogram of flour you get if you go out to the voting booth. That's fair, that's fair. Nice to see a new political stream on Twitch. Ah, see, thank you. I'm very happy that we met. How are you doing? How is the politics there in America, probably? Now, seriously, though, what's happening in Germany? How's the situation? Why is Scholz being a little pussy? I feel he doesn't really have an answer to that. He's just been a pussy for a while, right? So it's like, what do you even say to that? Just, yeah, it happens. Why is Milanovic a pussy? It happens. Sometimes you like the pussy to be leading a nation, because sometimes you gotta suffer a little bit. It's a balance in the universe. You think bombing's gonna happen? There's not gonna be any bombing. Or actually, I don't know. Would be interesting to see. No, he's not a pussy. He's a pussy. He's a cuck. Man's a cuck, unironically. I'm hateful. So much hateful of that dude. But I do love how the current situation in Croatian politics is basically everyone's accusing each other of being a Russian agent. And the worst thing is that everyone kinda is, or at least was, really connected to Russia at some points, right? So you have like, it's like that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other. It's basically that. And I'm partially alright with the fact that it's creating a very negative image around having connections to Russia, right? Because right now the only way to be a clean politician is to not have any ties to Russia, because, you know, otherwise everyone's gonna be piling up on you. I'm kind of supportive of that. Shit. TikTok influencer? How many TikTok influencers do we have? I'm not even using TikTok though. Fuck, I haven't used TikTok. I don't know how many of our people have TikTok. I have seen one Croatian politician post on TikTok recently. I don't know which one, but it was jarring. It was weird. It's like, you know the feeling when you see a teacher outside of the school? It's like that, but worse. That, but like 20,000 times worse. The biggest party pretty much ruled out a coalition with any other party because they hate them. So what happens then? Like everything crumbles? Everything just falls apart? It's like the trash situation in France, isn't it? Because like they got left-wingers in power, and they got right-wingers taking a chunk of votes too. So what happened is left-wingers got a lot of seats in the government, but the left-wing proposed a prime minister candidate, and the right-wing, who they have to be in a coalition with, the right-wing was like, nah, we ain't supporting this piece of shit. They're a leftist. So Macron had to appoint a prime minister from the center, despite the fact that the left got a lot of votes. He had to appoint a prime minister from the center, so he would have everyone willing to do a coalition, because otherwise they would not do a coalition together. It's just messy. It's just fucking messy. We're not having that situation here yet, but we'll see, and it's gonna be bad. Has your dog for some time? He's okay, but for president, man, give your hands in the hospital. He was your dog, Joe. He was fine, he was good. Oh man, that's like close. I find him rather boring. I find him kind of boring. He hasn't really made an impact. Or maybe he's waiting for the last like month to make an impact. I don't know. You know, so we like remember him before the voting starts. He hasn't made an impact in my eyes. Not really. But I'm still like, I'm strategically voting for him very likely, because I don't want Milanovic to win again. It's just that I don't know, dude. I'm have a center party, the left wing or right wing or extremists. Oh. You have a center party. Why don't you have a center party? Wait, I should have muted it, because right now it's gonna pause, and then we want to know where we are. Germany politics. Do you guys have a center party? Oh, CDU. CDU used to be center, but it's not anymore. Oh, okay. No, 2005, 2009. Whoa. Ancient history. 2017. When did you have the elections? No, you had ones after, right? AFD 94, CSU, CDU. Oh, it's a new leader. It's basically right wing. Are they center right enough to have center people voting for them? Because we cannot have that. That's our situation. Like technically we don't have proper center technically, but we have center left and we have center right, and they're basically the same shit. It's the same thing. More vatnik, oligarch, populist, and somewhere outside nationalist. Yeah, that's true. I understand that because I actually did have a discussion with a friend about this very recently. And it started from me shitting on Jordan Peterson. And then from me shitting on Jordan Peterson, we went to the topic of left-right politics. And he was like, oh, these leftists, and Milanovic is like supposed to be the voice of the left and everything. But like when you actually look at the politics, so what we have is like center-left and center-right, you don't really get... There's not that many differences. Like right now, you do have the strongest difference in the main people of each party. So you have Milanovic and you have Plenković, one of them going pro-European Union and one of them going anti-European Union, right? And even then, Milanovic is going softly anti-European Union because of course, he's not an imbecile. He's not an absolute bumbling fool. He does like a lot of attention brought upon himself, but he's not that stupid. But that's like the biggest difference, and he's not even proposing any sort of actions to push us away from European Union. He even recently said that we should be taking as many European Union grants as possible because they are really helping our economy, right? So, it's like they're basically the same. The rhetoric is different, but basically very, very similar. So when I see our people complaining about, the wokeism and shit like that, it makes no sense. There's basically no wokeism in Croatia. There's no woke leftist here. There's no bullshit like that. We don't have that. The strongest political differences we have right now is literally who's pro-Russia, who's pro-European Union. That's that. Did left and right? What left and right? We have a small group that's like praying for women to not get access to abortion. You could call that far right, but it's such a small group in politics that it doesn't even really have representation. I'm pretty sure their number is the same number as supporters of Radnička Fronta, which is like proper commies, and they don't have any representation either. Eto Kanita, how's situation there? Why church keeps bringing up voting and money? We had the thing here. I live close to a very popular religious center. And we had a thing here where a priest was not allowed to talk about voting. He wasn't allowed to tell you who to vote for. But before the elections, you know how election is on Saturday, and before the elections, he was having a little speech. And he said that Jesus said to throw your nets to the right side of the boat. And he repeated it a few times. He was to the right. Jesus said go to the right. All right? Jesus said the right side is the proper side. I'm just saying. But yeah, they're thirsty. They're thirsty as shit, my dude. Also, for those of you who go to church, I haven't been in a very, very long time. But it's officially the start of the season where they cry about Halloween. So if you want to have some fun, I suggest you go around this time. It's the best shit ever. It's genuinely the best. They keep on crying about who made Halloween and why Halloween is not a European practice and why we shouldn't be celebrating Halloween, and how they're offended because you're imagining the ghost of your dead grandmother to be haunting you at night, shit like that. It's my favorite time because every time they write a new thing into the text and it makes no fucking sense, but it gets everyone panicking, like the grandmas listening in the front rows going, holy shit. Pretty logical. Yeah, they really do support the right-wingers, which, I mean, for the church, I could maybe even understand, but it's not like they're even aligning in values, you know what I mean? The church here is more like far right, but when they tell to people to go right, people usually go HDZ, because every normal right-winger like goes HDZ, and no one goes for fucking most. Vinkovci! Hey, I was there a few days ago, a few weeks ago actually. I don't know when you had the folklore thing. Church is always on their side. God will save them, yeah, brother. No, every single time. Every single fucking time. Yeah. You know what's the worst thing? My family, proud haters of Iceland. Proud haters of HDZ. Last elections, I had to be making people to strategically vote for HDZ. Because Milanovic said if SDP coalition wins, he's going to get the spot of the Prime Minister, and I really didn't want him to get the spot of the Prime Minister. I was pushing people to vote for HDZ. Felt like ripping out, like, my own soul. Because I'm not a fan. I'm not a fucking fan. They also have strong ties to Russia. They're not good. They're like corrupt as shit. And they're also trying to control the courts to not get punished for this corruption. And still, like, that pushed people to vote for them. It was a betrayal. Softly right, don't think we'll support LGBT and other anti-Christian things. Our right-wingers are chill with it, actually. Our right-wingers are chill with it. I think we have gotten to a situation... No, when I say our right-wingers, I mean our center-right, not our right, because right is like that. But our center-right is chill with them. So, basically, in the current situation in Croatia, voting soft-right, which is HDZ, is not as horrible of a decision as voting right-wing could be in some other places, really. Every person wanting an election. Wait, what were we talking about? Ukrainians wanting an election. No. Dislike our man, but elections in the war state is an idiotic idea. It's also against our laws to perform an election at the moment. Yeah, it's just... Man, it would be near impossible. You would need to get voting places that you can ensure are safe from Russian attacks. That shit is not going to happen. Then you need to figure out how to get all the refugees to be voting and how to get all the displaced people to voting. And for so many of them, we don't even know where they are, right? So what do we do then? There's like entire parts of population that no one knows what happened to, really. All contact has been cut. Are they alive? Are they dead? Have they been kidnapped? Have they just been killed? Who the hell knows? No one knows. What do you do? Do we do like democratic elections without an entire part of the population? Man. So I don't know. I've got no idea. I don't know how people who are planning for elections in Ukraine and who are calling for them, I don't know how they plan for it to even happen in the first place. Genuinely, I've got no fucking idea. Like, I can't imagine how you could properly do elections in the current situation. And then not even to mention that what's the word? The candidates going around parading, that shit needs money. The organization of that thing needs money. I don't really know how much money Ukrainians would be willing to give into that at the moment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they wanted to do that, I'm pretty sure if they wanted to have elections, they would have called for elections. It's Ukrainians we're talking about, you know? It's not some spineless little cuck nation. If they wanted elections, and if they were ready to put that much money into something like that, I'm pretty sure they already would. It's just, it seems near impossible to do them fairly right now. Wait, do you have Klejovci in your area too? Because they were in Osijek. Have you seen the videos? They were in Osijek. I think 2 Saturdays ago or something, I saw it on TikTok actually. I saw it on TikTok. I went on TikTok to look for a song, and I haven't opened that stupid app in months before. So I opened TikTok, and I think the second video on my recommended feed is a video from Osijek, and there's a bunch of people like praying in front of the cathedral, just out there on the square. Ridiculous. And for 2 of them, I'm not even sure if I know them. Because the faces look familiar, and I was like, oh shit, I hope it's just crap quality video, because if I know men doing this, there's gonna be some fights. There's gonna be some fights at family lunches. Holy crap.
Speaking at a surprise press conference in Reykjavik, Benedict's own cited infighting
LGBT marriage or children for LGBT or actively inviting migrants? Shitty custom. No, I think when it comes to that, the way we have it is basically LGBT marriage is allowed. I don't know how adopting children works, but I'm pretty sure that is allowed too. So we're not really having discussions about it on a countrywide scale, at least not for now, because what HDZ likes doing is when a corruption scandal is revealed, they turn the conversation to oppressed parts of society. So very often you will see in the news some talks about a new corruption scandal unveiled, and then a few days later you see them talking about, gay marriages, because it's like, it's a cover-up. It's a thing you use to cover up the corruption thing. But they're not really against LGBT marriage or them adopting children, as far as I understand. When it comes to migration crisis, we do have both left-wingers and right-wingers agreeing that there needs to be some sort of control over this, which I'm very happy to see here. And I'm also very happy to see that they're kind of open about the demands to control the situation. And I've seen this in other European countries recently too, where like you have both the left and the right agreeing that we need to do something about the migrant crisis and agreeing that we need a way to control for this. And from what I've seen, but I might be like getting too ahead of myself because the algorithm does create like a bubble, right? But from what I've seen, there's a number of people aware that we are having the issues with migration and refugees in the first place because of the Russian asset known as Merkel. So I'm very happy to see that. I'm happy to see that she was the one who fucked us all in the ass. A nice little move in people's understanding of politics, if you ask me. Waiting for election, a sign that war is over. Yeah, I see that. It's a direct violation of the current law to perform an election. Yeah, that's true. I see no way how it wouldn't be, really. I see no way how it wouldn't be, so...
The president said he was thankful that Milton wasn't as bad
you got the hot живот?
but that it was still a
really?
cataclysmic event for many people.
Man, I'm so sorry for that. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. That's bullshit. Oh, I feel so bad. One time I had something similar in Osijek as a performance. And we were there as a high school. They organized basically, we weren't part of it, of course. But they organized it as like, oh, let's go as a high school to see what happens in the city. And it was ongoing. It was like a little performance thing in the center. And they were like, yeah, sign here if you don't want abortions to be available to women. And I'll never forget. Because like we came here all like ridiculous little art students. You know what I mean? All of us little like anti-authority edgelords. So we come here and this woman is holding a speech to us at the stand. She's trying to get us to sign papers against abortion. And she's holding a speech. And she's like, yeah. And you should be signing here, so abortion is not allowed. And one of her reasons was that the scientists agree that life starts at conception because they can actually see like light happen when the soul enters the egg. They can like see the soul enter. And for her it was like, yeah, the soul entering, this is like confirmed by scientists. And we were like, all right, like can we get some evidence of that? Like, what are you talking about? So we went and full like debated her, And she got so angry, and then she didn't allow us to like even be around. She was like, yeah, you can go. Like, you're keeping the other people from not being able to come and sign. Like, the fuck are you talking about? There is no one here, you piece of shit. Vatnik party? Oh, here it's it's opposition to abortion. Specifically opposition to abortion. They do nothing else. They just like do these anti-abortion walks. And then I think they're also a part of the a group of people praying in front of churches, right? I think they're also part of that. But it's basically that. That's like all that they're doing, really. One old woman, yeah. One old piece of shit. She embarrassed us a lot when Ireland had the referendum for abortion. Ireland was having a referendum and they wanted to allow women to have access to abortion. And this woman sent a video to Ireland where she was like, people of Ireland, I beg of you, do not vote to allow the murders of babies. Please, like, stay close to your Christian values. And it was so ridiculous to watch that after learning that not only was Ireland like for years refusing to do basic checkups on women who had issues with the pregnancy so they wouldn't have to do abortions if it turned out that there's actually problems. They had a woman die because of that. They had a whole death on their hands. She had a problem, the fetus was dead, if I remember correctly. This was years ago. The fetus was dead and she asked for it to be taken out and they were like, no, it's too early to take it out. Like, we can't. It technically counts as abortion right now. We'll be able to take it out only later. So you have to come back after and then, we'll be able to stop the sepsis from forming. And you know what happened? She got sepsis and she died. And imagine knowing about that and being like, oh yeah, Irish people, well, you should not allow women to have abortions anyways, just because I don't want you to allow that. Oh, so women are going to die? It's a price I'm willing to pay. Wild. Yeah, it's always all men. It's always all men. The Osijek one, though, interestingly, the Osijek performance that they did, it was a group of men praying. And then around them, they had like, I don't know what they were pretending to be, like bodyguards or some shit. There was like, I think 5 to 6 people standing around them. 2 or 3 of them were women. I'm not sure how many. There's like a TikTok video. But like, there were at least 2 women standing around these men, like protecting them. And what are you doing, you clown? What are you doing? He doesn't see you as a person. What are you doing? The fuck is that? Denmark? Oh, I don't know what kids do in Denmark. I've got no idea what's happening in Denmark. I was part of Erasmus. We had at one point... Is it Erasmus? Yeah, it is. And I remember there were like, I think 6 different people coming that year from different parts of the world. One of them was a activist for women's rights. Was it Portugal? Something like that. And that's actually what got me into researching all of that. Because before, I wasn't really that invested in seeing how Croatia is dealing with the problem. But then you see how fragile the thing really is. And who's funding all of these groups to organize Hod za život and to be paying for all of these little performances, and you're like, oh shit. Like this is actually just an anti-woman project we're allowing. Just allowing it to happen. The fuck is that? Oh, they're praying for women to have children, but what I especially like, and what I find to be the funniest thing ever, is that they're praying to have authority in their life. Because imagine being such a pussy cock that you go to kneel in the middle of the city, you kneel that down on the ground, and you pray for God to make your family respect you. You think that's how you get respect? By kneeling down in the middle of the city like a little pussy bitch you are and praying? The fuck is that? And then when I see the stupid shit, you remember that one time they were talking that they were praying so that women would stop wearing skirts? You want to have authority in your family? You want to have respect from your wife? And you pray so that women don't wear skirts outside? Are you insane? What sort of authority does that even command in any sort of a way? What the hell is that? Oh yeah, I want to be a proper man. I want to be a proper man. God, please make women stop wearing skirts. What a deranged thing to say. What a deranged way to exist in the world. And I know they had one, I think she was from Germany. I remember defending her online. He was one, she was a theologian or something. And she pointed it out at one of our TV shows. They invited her for an interview, and she was like, yeah, you can't pray to God for authority. God's not just gonna like magically give authority to a weak man. Why would he do that? Why would God see you being a little pussy bitch? Not her words, but you know what I mean. Why would God see you being a little pussy? And why would God go, yeah, this little pussy, this little weak man, this loser, he should be leading his family. Why would you be leading anyone? You're going to destroy them. They shouldn't be placing trust in you. You're nothing. And it got them so angry, but it was so true. Like, it was so true. None of these men are authority in any sort of a way, and they shouldn't be. Just incredibly sad. 12 weeks in, and you can abort. Oh, I still don't know what our rule is. I looked it up a while ago, and I didn't need it in a very long time. Muška molitva na trgu mole za černost, čuvaj policija. But dude, though, you need the fucking police to protect you. This man is a loser. Hey, yeah, General. Now we're talking. Look, I have to show you something. I have to show you what we're talking about so you understand. We have a thing in Croatia where like a bunch of men gather up in the city squares and they pray to the Virgin Mary so women would stop wearing skirts. That's what it is. They just like kneel down in the middle of the city. And I mentioned this, but like my favorite thing is that they pray to have authority. They pray to have authority in their families, and they pray to get respect from members of their family, you know? But like imagine that. Imagine doing that in an attempt to get fucking respect. And to have kids, yeah. Who the fuck is going to love you in their bed? If you do shit like that, the fuck is that? Fuck is that? Oh, little pussies. Man, I hate them so much. I hate them so much. I hate these men so much. And I don't know. You know what I don't know? Like the Osijek one, it had like 10 people. Alright. That's not that much. You know what I mean? That's not that much. So I understand that like it happened once. There was a few men on it. It went under the radar. But the Zagreb one has been ongoing for a long time. Surely their wives know. How can you be a wife of that? How are you not embarrassed? Imagine turning on the TV at evening and you see your man kneeling on the town square like some cock that he is. And he prays God to give him authority. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't imagine laying in bed next to something like that. Weak as shit. I'm liking that though. I'm liking that little thing. Bolje biti klečavac nego kmečavac. What the fuck is kmečavac? Bolje biti klečavac nego kmečavac. Oh no! Oh, they do it first Saturday, every first Saturday in a month. More than a year. We pray against all the insults carried against the heart of Mary. Yee! Look at this. So the first they prayed for the homeland and for peace and for a conversion of the Croat people, but also for men to become a spiritual authority in a family. They prayed for a life. The fuck is that? No sex before marriage. No sex before marriage. Life of premarital chastity, it says. Chastity in dress and behavior, that's not wearing skirts. And for the restoration of Catholic marriages, for the end of abortions and the openness of married couples to life. For holy, authentic and uncompromising church pastors and new spiritual vocations. For souls in purgatory and for personal purposes. My dude, just like don't have sex before marriage. Just don't have sex before marriage. Why would you be praying for premarital chastity when you can just keep your dick in your pants? What's the point of praying for this? God's not gonna give you strength if you're a pussy. Crying gave nobody freedom, whose fighter gets the world. And then Croatians, no, we're so pussies. Fucking pussies, my man. Yeah, the oldest town in the world, in Europe, but the oldest mines too. I do insult people like this personally. I'm pretty sure Mary would not be a weak little person to get insulted by, you know, women wearing skirts. Usually there's no sex after marriage. I was actually watching a really, really good Dr. K interview yesterday. Fuck, who was he talking to? The Diary of a CEO, some dude. But Dr. K was talking about this actually, and at one point he comments on the fact that people in marriage have less sex and how partially this is because you're just kind of more relaxed next to your partner. You're just a bit more relaxed, and because you're a bit more relaxed, like you get horny quite less. Because what you do really is when you start dating and you start having sex with someone, right? Like the first time, it's incredible. It is incredible, absolutely. And then it's like second time and third time and fourth time and again and again and again and again and again. And if you're not a couple that knows how to introduce novelty into this, if you don't really know what to do and you don't really know how to spice it up, it kind of just becomes a bit boring for you, really. It becomes one of those things that you don't really do as much. And then especially if you introduce other things into the equation, like getting kids or something like that, it takes away even more of that sex drive away from you as a people. But what he mentioned is that it's not really a sign of an unhealthy marriage. Because like a lot of people, they talk about the lack of sex after marriage and they, you know, mock it and it's seen as something that's bad, right? But it's not really inherently bad for a couple to have less sex. It's not like you're less in love with a person if you're less horny. It's not the same thing. You're just having different things that will fill you now, and different things are invoking this sort of novelty in your relationship. Like what he specifically mentioned is, for example, raising children together with your partner, right? Because like raising children is full of challenges, and in overcoming these challenges, you get to bond with them even stronger. And this is some experience that's like new and novel in your mind, and it reinvigorates this love that you feel for them, right? And this is good, this is great. But like you don't need to have sex afterwards to make it good and great and incredible. It's a really good experience just by itself. And it's falling in love with them all over again just by itself. You don't need to be horny to make it count. So I thought that was a really, really good thing. Who would be shocked when they find out they're pregnant before marriage? And the woman said, Holy Mary. Us. You know, our grandmas? Oh, my man. Oh, my man. You know those American evangelical fanatics? But true Catholics, that... Wait, the dude's praying? The dude Reno's praying? That's not Catholicism. Because a true Catholic, first thing, a true Catholic would not be praying on the city square. That's a performance. The Bible specifically talks against using religion as a performance. What you're doing, praying in a city square, is performing for the masses. It's a little circus that you create. It's a little play that you do. A proper Catholic would never. A proper fucking Catholic, never in their life. Alright? So that's the first problem. And then the second problem is that a proper Catholic would understand that in order to be a person of authority, you need to get this authority, you need to deserve this authority, you need to build this brick by brick. You don't get authority by praying to a god to give you authority. You're going to ruin more people if you have authority you do not deserve. A proper Catholic would understand this. You can't just pray to God for everything and then he's gonna give you everything. He's not a little like fairy that fulfills 3 wishes or some bullshit like that. So no, I don't think these people are Catholics at all. But what I do think they are is religious extremists and also misogynists. Because there's a really big overlap right now, not just in Croatia, but in European countries overall, with Catholic, Christian overall, extremists being really close to Muslim extremists that they pretend to fear. I think it's a really interesting, like, how to say it, connection in between them to watch. You know what I mean? It's a really interesting thing, really concerning, but really interesting. Like how many of them for such a long time were talking about how, oh no, this Muslim culture is so bad and they want women to cover up and shit, But then how many times have we went on Twitter recently and seen them mocking women who go out and they dress provocatively? You know what I mean? How many times have you seen them just bullying women for that? How many times have you seen them posting pictures of women like wearing those really long dresses and everything and being like, oh, shouldn't all women be dressed like that and not wearing short skirts? Don't you think that those who wear short skirts are inherently of lesser value and you shouldn't respect them as people at all? And if something happens to them, they deserve it because they wore this? Like, it's the same type of extremism. It's the same type of misogyny. Horrible thing to watch, but also rather interesting that I don't see it. Yeah, Jesus said that you should pray in silence. You shouldn't be praying. You should not be praying as a performance, because then it loses the point. Different innate sex drives. That too, which is why I'm not really happy about them pushing the idea of no sex before marriage, pre-martial chastity. I've learned the term. I'm not happy about them pushing this because I know a few people who did follow these ideals, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good, and I feel in my mind it never can be good, really. Like, I don't know why you would do that as a person. You're not gaining anything, you're literally just losing something. Because what it does is it pushes you into marriage too early. Because, like, you know this, some of you were teenagers or are teenagers today. You know teenagers are horny as fuck. Imagine if you, a horny teenager, dated another horny teenager and you weren't allowed to do anything until marriage. You would get married like that. And then what happens is, like, a year into marriage, you figure out that this person is actually a piece of shit, because of course they are. And what then? Nothing. Nothing. You're stuck. That's that. You're stuck with them for the rest of your life unless you figure out how to do a divorce. But good luck doing a divorce in a society like that. Yeah, old people are really horny too. Old people are really horny. That was a part of the Dr. K interview too. He was talking about how when they're taught about how to, like, take care of older people in nursing homes, for example, one thing that people very often forget is that people in nursing homes are having sex very often. they just like having sex. They're relaxed. They have all the time in the world. There's constantly someone new that they're meeting and chilling with. They're having a lot of sex. And what happens is that because they're having a lot of sex, they are very, very fragile to STDs. They can just have like a huge outbreak happening in the matter of a few days because they're having so much sex. So, yeah. Also, when you go to a nursing home, I hope you're gonna have a nice time. Every religion is about misogyny. Yeah, at least major ones. Yeah, when you look at the major ones, though, it's like we got Judaism, we got Christianity, we got Islam. The same root, really. In Šibenik, you need to pay €5 to get in church for 5 minutes? Holy shit. What's goodness anyway? I mean, you have different philosophical ideas of what goodness is, so it really depends on the conversation that we would be talking about. It depends on the specific topic, and then you have to figure out what sort of actions are good in what way, following which philosophical tradition, really. Right-wing Christianity is becoming more like Islam in Islamic controlled countries? Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm happy that right-wing Christianity is not having a lot of power in our countries yet. But at the same time, is it not concerning that they're around? I don't know, it scares me. It kind of worries me, really. Like when I see them, for example, here, we had them trying to push the anti-abortion conversation into politics. They didn't succeed. But the fact that they, like, tried and got close to pushing a debate, that by itself was really concerning to me. That by itself, like, really genuinely worried me. Yeah, sex education is absolutely necessary. True. True. Proper sex education in schools must be happening. How to have safe sex, because they're going to have sex regardless of what you think they should or should not be doing. Definitely. Safe sex, and also I think that they will need... I think we should be providing them with free condoms. I would genuinely just be like providing teenagers with free condoms. Just get it. Just fucking get it. What's good in your view? I consider things good if they improve the lives of as many people as possible. I think that's the way I would see it. I consider actions good based on their performance and based on their results. And when it comes to pushing for premarital chastity, I don't see how this is in any way improving anyone's life. I do see how this is making lives worse. So for me, that action of pushing this idea onto people cannot be good. It is directly harmful, and the harm is being excused by religious views. Some teenagers will have sex just to say they had it, and some will have it just because they're horny. Yeah, definitely. Like, I remember being one of those. I lost my virginity because I wanted to. I didn't even like the dude. I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to be a virgin anymore. And it was a stupid thing. And now I look back and I'm like, you fucking retard. You fucking retard. Why? But like, you're a teenager. You're stupid. Teenagers are dumb little people. So what I would do, like, luckily everything went well for me. I'm GG. Nothing weird or sussy happened. The dude wasn't a weird person. Like, it was all alright, but I do know a few teenagers who didn't get as lucky. Like, I do have a former friend who, as a teenager, slept with a man. It was her first time. It wasn't his, but because he was a little slut. But it was her first time. She stayed pregnant. Immediately stayed pregnant. They got married. Later, he was beating her. So she had to get a divorce. Can you imagine? Just like a stupid decision you make as a stupid teenager. And it destroys the course of your life completely. She couldn't finish high school because she had to get out of high school because she was pregnant at the time. It destroys everything. So I'm very, very into educating teenagers on this because I do think that educating them also kind of removes the novelty of this. It's not anymore like, ooh, sexy, can't talk about it. No, you kind of remove that, like, mystic little thing that we have built around this. And I think that it's going to make them a bit more normal about the entire thing. Know what I mean? What if an action is short-term bad, but long-term really good? I feel you could wait it out. I feel you could wait out how bad it is right now and how good it's going to be in the long term. It's like, I want to know if I'm understanding. Is it like basically Machiavellianism idea, right? That like, in order to reach the goal, and if we assume your goal is something good, in order to reach the goal of something genuinely really good long term, you're willing to do bad things now. You're willing to like betray some people or something like that in order to do for the outcome to be really, really good. I think that's why you put it on a scale. You put it on a scale, and one thing I think is really important on the scale is how likely this really good result is to actually happen. Because if the possibility of a really good result is like rather low, so you do a lot of harm trying to chase it, but it always evades you, it's a bit different than a good result that's like genuinely guaranteed if you do a certain action. So yeah, very specific. What's the mark of a good life? Making people's lives better, I feel. Doing as much good as you can. Do not keep yourself for a husband. Nah, you shouldn't keep yourself for anyone. Because listen, what happens if you stay a virgin until marriage, right? You go into bed with your wife the first night, all right? You go into bed with your wife, and you figure out she has a foot fetish. What do? You try to push your fingers down there, and she's like, no, I don't want your fingers. I want your toes. I want your toes inside of me. What do? You're fucked. You signed the certificate. You went in front of the priest. You did your vows. You're fucked now. That's that. That's that, really. You get dogs. You gotta test that before you marry. You gotta test that before you put your name on the certificate. What if it's a really, really weird fetish? What if she likes to dress up as a baby? You know how Twitter people do it? Dressing up as a baby and being like little. What if she's that? Yeah. Yuck. What if she's a sexual degenerate and you just sign that you're going to be with her in sickness and in health until one of you dies? No. That's way too much risk. Communities that don't have it have a lot more teen pregnancy. That too. Anti-abortion folks are also anti-sex ed. It's like trying to make 2 + 2 = 5. To be fair, but like I hate anti-abortion folks, so my perspective is a bit painted by that. But I think what it has in common, anti-abortion thing and anti-sex ed, is basically I think these people just support having teen pregnancies. I think they're chill with having teen pregnancies, and I think the reason why they support teen pregnancies is because when they tell you that children are a gift from God, they don't believe in it. They don't believe a child is a gift from God. They believe a pregnancy is a punishment for a woman that's been promiscuous. So they want teenagers who have sex to stay pregnant because they see it as punishment. Like, oh, she ruined her life. She deserved it, basically. So it's why they are against both of these things. Teen pregnancies are not a bug in the system. It's a feature of the system. They are GG with that. And you're under the atheist, how's life going? In pre-Christian Slav man could officially refuse marriage if it appears she's a virgin because it means something is wrong with her. She likes toes in her pussy. All the other men ran away, and now she's trying to get me by the seat. I will not be signing this. Yeah, religious nut jobs through. Except, Gustavo, I have to go to work afternoon today, so I'm kind of sad. Oh shit, can't hear the video? Yeah, sorry. I kind of forgot that it's here. I was really into the whole conversation about anti-abortion folks. We should watch a video about them.
It is supposed to host up to 3,000 people.
USA Christianity is carried by people who are in lifestyle and voting pattern against solidarity and actual Christian ideals. Countries that are dominated by non-materialistic and afterlife concepts do not flourish because they don't build things that allow them to prosper in this life. It's a 100% signifier. Oh!
Those who are not entitled to asylum end up in another part.
I see that. The disparity is intentional. They keep other countries as crippled, close allies, so they can exploit them. That makes sense. They send missionaries to other countries to teach non-materialistic Christianity, and by teaching non-materialistic Christianity, they fuck them up. Which is an example of a country where missionaries were sent to teach non-materialistic Christianity that actually adopted the values and teachings, and because of that, completely fucked up their own country. If you think anti-abortion people want to punish teenagers having babies, then you probably will come to hate them. Is hating them good? Do you actually know they want to punish the teens? Yeah, I do know they actually want to punish the teenagers, because I have the misfortune of having several of these people in my family, so I know what their values are. When it comes to hating on someone, I don't consider hating inherently good or bad. I don't consider emotions inherently meaningful in a way. I don't think it matters whether you hate a group or you love a group. I think what you do towards a group matters, right? So I don't really think... Like, for example, when we talk about... you know how a very often argument used by people who are anti-abortion is that some people will have a lot of sex, and then in having a lot of sex, they will stay pregnant often, and then they will want to get lots of abortions, right? Which, first of all, is not a thing that happens often at all. It's not a real problem. When they try to talk about this problem, they're degenerate. It's like maybe the handful of women across the entire society that actually do have unprotected sex that often and that stupidly, right? But the thing is that when it comes to that, I do judge people for not being responsible. Like, if you're an adult person in 2024, unless if you're in an abusive relationship of some sort, if you get pregnant, my dude, that's like intentional. You can't accidentally, as an adult, stay pregnant in this day and age, alright? You know what are the ways to protect yourself. When it comes to teenagers, it's different, because teenagers are dumbasses. But like an adult person? Come on, you knew it, alright? So when they give the excuses of like, oh, it feels better without a condom, I do judge them too. I do judge them, and my judgment comes from the same place as the anti-abortion people's judgment comes from, of like, this person is an idiot, they're not responsible at all, while they walk in this earth. But the difference here is that I am not arguing that we need to commit certain actions against this group. I don't want the group to be punished. I don't want to take away these women's bodily autonomy and force them to have a child against their will. That's the difference. The emotion itself to me is irrelevant. I do judge these women, but like, I don't want to see them punished for their stupid decisions. Whereas you have people who do judge them and who do want to see them punished. And this action of punishment, of actually calling for punishment, is the difference between us. And this action is what, for me, matters. Do Croats have a word for an aged virgin? Oh shit, yeah, we do.
Didn't witness May 68.
I don't know it though.
Didn't witness the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Fuck, they did have it. They did have it. I know, because they used it against me before I was in a relationship. And I wasn't even that age, my dude. But I was single. until 23. I was single. I refused to be in a relationship, and you know, for people that was like, oh, old. That was like, oh, what are you doing? Are you like a lesbian or something?
So that soon we can end
If they want to punish teens bad, if they call for actions that are going to be punishing teenagers, yes, that's bad. That's horrible, yes. Like if you actually commit actions that bring harm to these teenagers, yes, that's a bad thing. Judging them is one thing, but actually actively participating in getting punishment, yeah.
Business and markets. See the big picture.
No, nothing wrong with disliking anyone. You can judge anyone. You can judge anyone. You can hate anyone. You know what I mean? You can hate any person that you see on the street for whichever stupid reason you want to be hating on them against, really. The difference between you being a good person and you being a bad person is whether you are like actively seeking to harm them, to punish them, or if you are understanding that different people have different life experiences, maybe different values to your own, maybe just coming from a different place, and you do understand that this is not a good reason to call for them to suffer. You got a headache? Oh, holy shit. Migraine?
With key decision makers and European leaders.
My mother's getting those. It's like a huge vaccine thing for migraines, and it helps a lot. Have you tried that? When I was in China, I knew university-age kids who didn't know how sex worked. I knew a girl that thought she got pregnant by sleeping in the same room as a guy you liked. What the hell? University age, like 20? Around 20-ish? Man, that is sad. That is sad as fuck. That does remind me, I have a family member, and she at one point, she asked me if, could you like put a tampon up in your vagina so you don't have to piss as often? Because she basically had like a little flu or something, or a cold, and you know how when you have it, you have to go piss more often. So she was annoyed at work because she constantly had to run to the toilet. And she was like, could I just put a tampon in? Like, have you ever tried that? Just putting a tampon in so the piss can't get out. I was like, woman what? Woman what? What do you mean? How do you know that punishing someone is bad? Why would inflicting suffering on another person not be bad? It directly calls to harm another person. In a specific conversation about abortion, it calls to take away someone's bodily autonomy, specifically to punish them for decisions that you disagree with. How the fuck would that not be bad? How the hell would that not be bad? You're saying, I want to take away this person's bodily autonomy, I want to take away their right to make choices and decisions about their own body and about what happens with them. I want to take it away because they made a stupid decision that I personally disagree with. Some schools do not do sex ed and their parents never talk about it? But like 22? That's wild, they should not have access to internet. Because when I think about the what? You're verify? Oh, I'm interested in
social media post with almost 200,000 views claims that more than 30% of children in
because when I think about the way a lot of my generation learned about sex, it was around 12, 13, 14, you get really horny and you Google it.
Between 2 and 4% child poverty rates. However, the post is misleading.
There are realities in which following a punishment, the total amount of good outcomes has increased. We can't say punishment is better. What reality are you imagining in which following a punishment, the total amount of good outcome has increased?
The Nordic countries and seemingly invented figures for the UK. Most of the Nordic numbers are from a 2005 OECD report and are calculated based on the percentage of children under 18 who lived in households with a disposable income less than 50% of the median. This differs from what the social media post says.
So what, you're just imagining your own reality and then being like, yeah, well,
the same data set put the UK's child
if I imagine my own reality, then I can make it whatever I want. So I'm asking questions based on what I imagine in my head.
In 2019. Back then, the UK still had the worst rates of child
That's a
poverty,
sandbox
but
thing.
they
I'm not
weren't
really
as
sure how much I
damning
care
as
about
most
sandbox
Connex
things.
suggests. The UK stood at
Why you call me by any
14.1%,
chance?
followed by Sweden at
Because I
9.3%,
usually have
Norway
sandbox
7.9%,
conversations with
Denmark
communists.
at 4.8%,
Communists and
Finland at
anarchists tend to be
3.7%.
really into
More
like
recent data
sandbox
from
types of
Eurostat and
conversations
the
where they
UK's
imagine a
Department for Work
reality.
and Pensions is based on households
And then they
below
like change the
60% of
rules
country's
to
median
fit the
income,
reality
and
that they have
therefore shows
imagined.
higher numbers than the 50%.
Yeah, very
In
often, very often. They're gonna be like, oh, well, communism is actually good. And then you're like, but it has been tried.
And both Denmark and
And the
Finland
outcome has been
9.7.
horrifying.
The UK's
What do you mean
DWP,
actually
meanwhile,
good?
the country at
And then they go, yeah, but like the way
22.4%.
I imagine it, the way I imagine it, like I don't know why you're bringing the criticism of it actually being tried. Because the way I imagine it and the way I imagine humanity, it would actually work. Like I think it's good. It's the same with anarchists. When you talk about talk to anarchists, and especially when you talk about like they're against the police, usually they're against the courts, and then you're like, oh, okay, how should we prosecute criminals? And they go, well, it's going to be like the mass justice in a way. It's going to be like the people of the community are going to carry out justice against the criminals. So then you go, okay, but like there's no courts, there's no free and fair trials, right? So what if someone is wrongly accused and a mob just piles upon them? Because we have seen this happen several times. What happens if you're wrongly accused and a mob just goes and kills you on the spot anyways? And they're like, yeah, well, that's not going to happen. That's just, it's not going to happen. What do you mean it's not going to happen? What the fuck do you mean? You just imagined your own world, and now you're making up rules based on the world that you imagine without looking at the reality of the situation. How stupid is that? What a waste of time, what a colossal waste of time. I'm having my sandbox and I'm building a world, and now you have to pretend that my world is worth something. Ridiculous. Did we have a red score on this? Did I see a red score in Croatia?
The final day of this year.
Oh, by the way, do you know that Croatia has the worst score when it comes to, in the entirety of European Union, when it comes to the prices of apartments compared to our paycheck? Like a huge chunk of our paycheck goes towards the apartment itself. A huge chunk. It is not as bad. It's not... It's way worse, is what I'm trying to say, than in all other countries in European Union. We are absolutely shit when it comes to that. You almost went to Catholic gymnasium? Oh, they're actually not so bad, I hear. They're not so bad, I hear. I had a friend who went into it, and they were going... Where was he on a travel? He was on a travel somewhere, I don't know. They were like going everywhere all of the time. That was really cool. They get a lot of funding from the state. Although I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what the teachings were like, but to be fair, I went to art school, right? In art school, our religious professor told us that in New Zealand they allowed gay marriage. So because they allowed gay marriage in New Zealand, they were forced to allow men to marry sheep. Because the gays like pushed this into normalcy. And I know that in the what's it, like hospitality school, I know they watched that pseudo-documentary on religious classes also, which was about the baby that like swims around in your stomach. Like if a doctor is trying to perform an abortion, the baby sees him trying to like scissor it into pieces, which also, by the way, isn't what's happening. They don't cut it into pieces, what the fuck. But the documentary tells you that the baby sees these scissors approaching and then swims all around in your belly trying to escape. So, yeah. So when it comes to that, I don't... Like, I understand the problem with Catholic gymnasium, but also I don't think it's inherently worse than all the other schools we have, because Christian classes are horrific here. It's bad. I don't think it's ever been this bad as it is right now. Doesn't matter who wins the election, I want to fuck my state. We will not allow certain things to happen. I mean, good luck with that. Good luck with that. How the fuck are locals affording this shit? I barely can. Oh yeah. When it comes to Dubrovnik though, when it comes to usual tourist spots, you guys are getting into places that are a bit more expensive than everywhere else. So when it comes to like tourist spots in Dubrovnik specifically, usually locals don't go there. Usually locals don't even like try. So that's kind of a big thing. My mom didn't want me to travel, so I had to go in economy school. Oh, now I don't know what university I want to get in. Oh yeah, that's shit. Oh, that is shit. Absolutely, I understand that. At the end I didn't go anywhere. I started working, and now I'm thinking of going into university, and I'm always like, you know what I mean? Like what? But the one good thing, I don't know if you're in your last year of school or what is it, but one good thing is, do they still do Mala Matura? Do as many of that as you can. Do as complex versions of it as you can, really. Because I have a friend who didn't solve it. He knew he didn't want to go to college. Knew. So he didn't get it. And now he does want to go to college, but he has to solve that shit first. But like when you're years outside of high school, it's really harder to learn all of that shit in a sufficient amount of time. So just do all of that, so later you can change your mind. Just do all of it so you're prepared.
During the spring and autumn, shepherds skillfully shear wool.
Do you think we should populate other planets in the future? Yeah, I think we will. I think we will. I don't really think it's something that
Flowers of many hues open on his green summer pasture.
How to say it?
Drenched in the scent of basil.
I don't think it's something that we're going to be having like a referendum on or something. It's going to happen. At some point we will populate other planets. And I'm not really too against it. I also do think it's inevitable. Hot alien bitches, I wish. Still pricey for the Balkans, but more reasonable? Yeah. I've heard Montenegro is really good if you want to go for a seaside vacation that's not as expensive. Montenegro, and I've also heard Albania is incredible lately. So if you're looking to save some money, maybe those. Croatia is really expensive. Elon Musk. I would say we'll need someone normal. I don't trust Elon Musk. I don't think he's gonna bring us anywhere. Didn't he say we're gonna be on Mars, but like by 2024? It was supposed to be Mars by 2024. It was supposed to be Robot Taxi by 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure. No, it was also the loops. What was the timeline for the loops? Around the moon. He wanted to be driving private citizens to take like a loop around the moon and then back to Earth. That too, it never happened. I don't really think Elon Musk is going to do shit. I think he's vastly overestimating his own intelligence and his own abilities. All of us will be long dead by the time that happens. Populating other planets, yeah. Reaching other planets, I do think is possible. But like, yeah, populating, absolutely. Would you ever give time frame predictions on anything? No, I don't think there's a reason to do that. It's just blind guessing. It's kind of like, meh. Why would you do that? I was in Albania for like 5 months before Croatia. Damn good food. Bosnia is also at least as cheap or even cheaper than Albania. Oh shit, I love Bosnia. I imagine it would be more expensive on their like 2 square meters of seaside. I imagine the prices there will be a bit higher. Yeah, I adore Bosnia. I love Bosnia so much. Given the gravely adverse effects of microgravity on the human body we have recently learned about, I think the likelihood of us populating other planets in the foreseeable future has significantly reduced. I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that. Population, definitely. The populating is like one thing. I think we might be able to reach other planets. I don't even know if I would say create settlements, because why the fuck would you create a small settlement on another planet? That seems way too expensive and not at all productive. So yeah. But reaching them? What does a consequentialist like you do to know what's the best action at any moment? How do you know when you have thought long enough about the best action or not? Are you expecting me to like give you a graph of how much you have to be thinking about every decision that you're able to make? Is that what you expect? What sort of questions are those? You wait in. What's my action going to do? What are the results of it going to be? Depending on which action you're thinking about and how complex it is and how many variables there is, you think about it for an amount of time needed to determine what's the best course of action to take. There isn't a graph for that. It's not like you can map it out. A man's going to shit himself before he gets to the toilet. No, but literally. Like, how you just become a person? What sort of a question is that? Haven't been there because of the flooding. It's kind of hard to get to the south now from Sarajevo. Oh shit, I understand that. I just remembered we had tourists from Bosnia here last Saturday, and I wasn't able to hang out with them at all because my shift ended earlier, and then I like left and went home. I do wonder how close to the situation they were with the flooding and how much do they know about it, because I've been reading the news and it has been, man, absolutely heartbreaking. Holy shit. When do you know you thought about it long enough? When you reach a conclusion. That's what you usually do. You go, I have option A and option B. This is what option A brings me. This is what option B brings me. Okay, option A better. That's just what you do. And sometimes you do it with a snap, and sometimes it takes days and days and days of thinking, depending on what the decision is. But like, it's a very question of a question that would be posed by someone unable to, I think, function normally as a human being. Like, do you never make decisions in your life?
Iceland's Prime Minister dissolves the ruling
Or yours? Sure. There has been like my specific example is the decision on whether or not I want to be having children. And it is something that I've been thinking about since I was like 12 years old, really. Because at 12 years old I was like, nah, I don't want to have kids ever. And members of my family were like, you're going to change your mind at one point, you know? So at first it was like, oh, you're going to change your mind by the time you're 15 and you reach puberty. Oh, by the time you're 18. Oh, by the time you're 20. Oh, by the time you're 22. By the time you're 25. Now waiting to change my mind by the time I'm 30. But yeah, it is one of those decisions that, like, I don't think I'm ever going to reach a proper conclusion on this, you know? I don't know if I'm ever going to figure out what the best course of action is. So it's one of those things that I'm just going to be rolling with.
The group also said it launched dozens of missiles to occupy Israeli air defense.
Yeah, be careful where you go in Bosnia. There are people who are called Bosanci and there are Herzegovci. Yeah. And I've learned that if you use the wrong one, they get really offended. But I never know who is which. Like, there's a few of them in the nearby area. They used to be living in Bosnia and then they moved here. And in my head, it's like a dude from Bosnia. But for them, the difference actually matters. And I always fuck it up because I just remember him as the dude from Bosnia, you know, it's a dude from Bosnia. What the fuck? And I always mess it up and they always get offended. Every single time. I try to switch it up. Like, when I think I'm making a mistake, I try to switch it up. And when I switch it up, I'm wrong. And when I don't switch it up, I'm wrong too. I'm always wrong. It's just a problem. If you universalize having no kids, then we all die. True. But at the same time, it's like, do I want to be having kids? Will making kids make me happy? Will having kids, if it makes me unhappy, cause me to suffer in my personal, private and family life? Because I have seen what unwanted pregnancies do to people, and I have seen the way that unwanted pregnancies destroy the entire family around them, right? So like, I know a woman who, for example, she forced herself to have a baby because her mother wanted her to have a baby so she could be having grandchildren. And this has caused deep resentment between the woman and her mother, and also caused resentment between the woman and her husband. And the entire family crumbled. No one speaks to each other anymore. The kid is being raised by their grandparents. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you weight how good a decision is, you have to weight all of the possible outcomes of it. And it's not really... Crumbling of the family structure I have right now is not really something that I would be willing to risk for a decision that I don't know is going to be a decision that I will commit to in the first place. I try to stay mindful about the stuff. I just don't bring it up or refer to anyone as anything until they do. It's like, don't speak to anyone. It's like when you forgot people's names. It's like when you forgot their name, and then in the next conversation you have to be like, hey, you! I haven't seen you in such a long time. It's like that. Oh, hey, very nice to find you. How was home? Where did you go for holidays? Aww. How would you describe yourself in 5 words? But one of them had to be location-based. Yeah, I saved 2 videos on Serbia uniting Slavs, so we could maybe watch those. I forgot to show you any videos that I've saved, because I logged into YouTube. Look at this. I log into YouTube, and I get this one. What if Serbia united the Southern Slavs? And then I scroll a bit down. How the Balkans almost united. So what I'm feeling, and then we have mini Schengen zones for some reason, and then down there I saved one from Brexit. But yeah, so Serbian brigades are really, really strong, and they seem really, really into the idea of jerking off about Yugoslavia. So we could watch that, actually. We could watch that. No homo, Slavkis? Why no homo, you coward? You coward. Full homo. Full, proper homo, Slavkis. Strongly homo. Strongly homo. Have you guys seen that Zelensky was in Croatia, by the way? Hard homo. Have you seen Zelensky was in Croatia? Have you seen Vucic was also in Croatia? We got Vucic. We got fucking Vucic here in Dubrovnik to sign a declaration about supporting Ukraine and Ukrainian territorial integrity. Vucic! He was here, little clown man. So I've already seen lots of people talking about the possibility of Yugoslavia waking up because of that. So that was kind of fun.
A wet dream for some, an unheard nightmare.
Though as far as I know from this account, they are a bit
history and future so distant
pro-Yugo
that it's not even worth polemicizing.
They are a bit pro-Yugo. So I'm not really too happy about that.
Uniting the Balkans into one country, one federation, hasn't been as improbable throughout history as it maybe sounds today. You'd actually be surprised that this project isn't only communist drivel and utopian fairy
I don't identify myself as one.
Daydreamer, but something that many intellectuals, organizations, and governments have
really
very seriously considered and attempted many times throughout the troubled history of the so-called powder keg of Europe. And speaking of which, it might even surprise you that this notion of instability, intrigue, and troubles that gave the peninsula its nickname is more of a baseless Orientalist caricature than a useful and sober outlook
it's like the Three Musketeers.
While the tendency to conquer
fucking Zoki was left to the
certainly
side.
has been
that
a
was so funny
part
to
of the
me.
Balkan experience, the tendency
No, wait, actually, I gotta pause this. You know what was the funniest thing to me? How they said that they can't invite Zoki because Zoki's values are not... They can't coexist with this declaration, basically. Like, his values go against Ukrainian territorial integrity, which I agree. He's been talking a lot of shit. So I agree. But, like, then you invite fucking Vucic there. What's Vucic doing there? A man who said Dubrovnik is never going to be a Croat city? The right hand of Milosevic? What his values are GG? What's he doing there? That was so funny to me. Like, I mean, I understand for Milanovic. I wouldn't want him there either. But like, Vucic? Why? I don't know. I still can't get it. And I haven't seen anyone defend it properly. So I'm guessing they just haven't thought about the way to present this to public. Why did you invite Vucic? Just don't get Vucic there. What's he doing? Cafe called Tito. It's all about Tito has a tank parked in front of it. Oh shit. Isn't Serbia like with Russia? Yeah, Serbia is doing the thing where it's like sitting on two chairs. So they are sending some weapons to Ukraine, but they also refuse to put sanctions on Russia and on Russian gas. But they also are getting a lot of cash money from European Union. So Serbia is trying to do the thing where like they cheat everyone and Vucic gets everything. Which I see it as a scenario quite similar to the Hungarian one, but the Hungarian one is crumbling. The Hungarian one is not really doing well, and I feel Serbian one is also not going to be able to do really well, because what you do is you're working with two separate sides, but what you get there is conflict within the population, right? Because Vucic is presenting himself, you know how he goes like, oh, we're never going to give up Kosovo, we will never give up Kosovo, and we believe that our territorial integrity matters. So Serbia should not be split up. Serbia is one territory and it must remain whole, right? But then he tries to go closer to Russia, and then he's like, oh, well, I feel that regions of Ukraine actually should be allowed to separate. Yeah, I feel they should be allowed to separate. Oh, what? That means I have to say that Kosovo is allowed to separate? Oh, no. Actually, I don't think these regions of Ukraine should be separating. I think that would actually be rather bad. But Putin, don't get angry at me. I will not sanction you anyways. You're doing bad, but I will not sanction you, even though I disagree with what you're doing. And it's kind of like, yeah, shooting those territorial integrity. It's creating a situation where you can't trust anything he says. Because what he is saying makes no fucking sense at all, right? Like, is Ukrainian territorial integrity respected by you or not? Are you condemning the Russian invasion or are you not condemning it? What is going on? Which side are you on? What's happening here? And the same thing happened with Orban. And with Orban even stronger, because he was trying so hard to support Russia. I don't know if you've seen the recent, it was like a month ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. The scandal they had in the politics, where Orban's top advisor said that if Russia invades Hungary, Hungary will not make the mistake of defending itself. It's just going to surrender. And people got pissed off, because of course they did. Imagine your politician saying, hey, if someone invades us, like, we're just going to kneel. We're just going to be like, yeah, okay. Can you imagine that? So people got pissed off, but the statement itself was a direct result of all the politics that Orban has been pushing so far towards Russia. It is the direct result of that. He just forgot what he is doing to the nation when he pushes towards Russia. He forgot how he's betraying them, right? So yeah, overall, just a messy fucking situation, and I think Orban is an idiot for doing it. I think Vucic is an idiot for doing it, and I think Milanovic is falling into the same trap. I think he also is an idiot for doing it, because he's also finding it really hard. I don't know if you remember at the start of this year, man had a whole speech where he was blaming NATO for the Russian invasion on Ukraine, right? And then what happened is he met with the, was it Prime Minister or President of Slovenia? And he completely switched the topic. He completely switched it up. Suddenly he was condemning Russia. suddenly it's a Russian invasion. How dare Russians do this? He did the same thing with NATO. When he was at the NATO meeting to decide on the mission of support for Ukraine, he was supporting the idea of Croatian military people going to Germany to help train Ukrainians. When he was there, he was GG. And then he comes home, and at home he's like, no guys, we're not going to send them. Croatia is not participating in this. We are maintaining neutrality. We're not going to send these people, right? Because he also is trying to like go to both sides. But in going both sides, like you go to a NATO meeting where you agree with the mission, you betrayed Russia. You don't send people to the mission. You betray NATO. You betray everyone. And in the same way, you betray both sides of your voting body. So what you're left with at the end is practically nothing. The only way Orban and Vucic both have been able to stay in power is by doing little tricks and by doing ways to control their democracy in the country, with like giving prizes to people who vote for them specifically, bossing people in to vote for them specifically, controlling the way other political parties are allowed to be advertising themselves, stuff like that. They're trying to implement control to stay in power, and that's the only way that a man who betrayed both sides of his country can stay in power in the first place. AO3, oh yes. You found one about Zoki and Planky? Shit, I went there once because someone told me there was a story about Orban. I didn't dare to read it. But there was one about Orban. And I'm really interested in Zoki and Planky one, but oh my god, it's gonna be so bad, isn't it? I was scrolling there. Man, it was a while ago. They probably have a lot more Croatian works now. At the time, they didn't have a lot of works in Croatian. But I remember trying to read one thing in Croatian, the cringe. Man, I still remember the feeling. Just, oh god, I read like first few words, couldn't read anymore. Yeah, sure, if you have a link, absolutely. I'm gonna read it off stream. Is it safe for work? Titonomics. I'm a flon, die. I mean, basically. Ukraine before Euromaidan. Threaten to go to EU, take Russian money. Threaten to go to Russia, take EU money. Sell give weapons to Russia. Sell give to destroy weapons for Americans. I'm a flon, repeat. Yeah, basically, isn't it? It's sad, but I love the I'm a flon, die. Because literally what happens. Yugoslavia was never supposed to survive. Remember the toe stuff we were talking about earlier? I mean, true. Is it an 18 plus stream? Is this stream 18 plus? Did I put the 18 plus on it? If I haven't, I should. Wait, let me save the link. Okay, saved the link. Saved the link so I can go read it. There's several works. No, we're not clicking on it. There's several works. Wait, where was I on this? Goodness is increasing the amount of people that get to live good lives. What kind of lives are they going to live, and how do we make sure they live them that way? Wait, what do you mean goodness is increasing the amount of people that get to live good lives? You don't have to increase the number of people. You can just improve the lives of people who are already living. There's no reason for you to introduce new people into the mix. Especially because, like, I know of plenty of people who are shit parents who also thought that they are going to give birth to children and they are going to give these kids the best life possible. And they didn't, because life creeps up on you. And some people are just not made to be kids, or some people lose their jobs or lose their properties, or just are not able to be a proper parent for whichever reason. What you do when you give birth is increasing people in the world, increasing the number of people in the world for sure, but you're not inherently able to guarantee you're going to be a good parent and these kids are going to be having a good life. So I do think it's one part of the equation too. Like, can you guarantee it? I don't think anyone really can guarantee it. So you can just improve the lives of people around you, and that's that. It's not that much of a risk. Yeah, but each person is not having the same quality life in either scenario. So you're doing the sandbox thing again. you're doing the sandbox thing again. I'm more of a practical solution type of a person, you know what I mean? I still love him. I tell him it all the time because I know his time's running out. Oh, that's cute. No, I think you can feel love for people who have mistreated you. And I think even if you have some sort of if you had a difficult upbringing or if your parents made it hard for you, you still can love them, right? But I don't think it inherently changes the fact that you didn't live a good life, really. Some people do push out of it, some people don't. Like, just by increasing the number of people, you didn't do something good. It reminds me of the saying that, like, it's really easy to get pregnant, but you need to actually raise that kid properly. It's easy to get pregnant. Any fool can get pregnant. Carrying out that pregnancy is a health risk for sure, so that's serious. But, like, what's really hard is building up your child properly after that. Because there's millions of ways you could fuck up a child. There's millions of ways you could do your parenting wrong. There's millions of bad decisions you could be making. So it's really, really hard to, like, attempt to guarantee that you're going to be, you know, giving a good life to all the new people you bring into the world.
Unite should by no means be.
Oh my man, have you seen Elon Musk?
And this
like
video,
jumping around
we'll
for
take a
Trump?
look at precisely
like a little autistic child. That was so funny to me.
The
Doing the
integration and reproaches
looking like a
of
little
Balkan
fool.
peoples following the collapse of both of their oppressors, the Habsburg and Ottoman empires, had been a long and turbulent process. There were many lesser-known historical movements that led up to the more famous projects for Balkan unity. So let's take a look at this intriguing journey, which is so often overshadowed.
Also, a thing that I love, but I don't know if it's like a cruel thing that people are making fun of the man for, because I feel Elon Musk has bodily dysmorphia. I feel he has issues with his body image. I feel he feels insecure. Because he does the thing on Twitter so often where, like, he posts AI images of himself where he looks skinny and handsome and everything. But, like, when you look at the real images of him, he's a frog. He's very much Orban built. He's not a handsome looking man at all. And I think he knows this. And it's funny to me to see people mock it, because I don't know if you remember when he like went to Texas and he was carrying that cowboy hat and he was looking absolutely ridiculous in it. But then he went on to Twitter and he was posting AI images of himself in a cowboy hat where he actually looks badass because AI edits him in ways that it makes him basically unrecognizable. I think it's a very interesting thing to like watch a man crumble right between your eyes, but also it's a bit cruel. Also very interesting, is it not? He's just falling apart in real time. How weird is that? The richest man. Just, I don't know, rotting away. My dad, a major drunk when I was a child. He got much better, but he's stuck in a nursing home with multiple sclerosis. Oh shit, that is sad. Oh, that is sad. I'm so sad for that. Man. I hope you're dealing with it. That has to be tough. Nursing homes are hard. Like, I've got a love-hate relationship with them because in one way you need them, and we did have several family members that we need to put into them. And they do get proper care and everything. It's beautiful, right? But at the same time, it makes me feel so guilty. They make me feel so guilty. There's a family member we had recently who was like really, really sick, and she needed 24/7 care. So I put her in a nursing home, and she lived in this nursing home for like a few days, and then she died. Incredibly sad story, but I don't know, it made me feel so guilty, and I know that we couldn't take proper care of her, right? But still, how fucking sad is that person that old and that fragile and that vulnerable has to be taken out from a home and placed in a facility, and they don't know anything about it. It's like a highly stressful time for them, and they're already so weak and they can't do shit. Yes, it's such a sad thing for me. threaten, take away businesses, give it to your family, promise to associate with EU, refuse to associate with EU, provoke students going for protest, beat students to install Christmas tree, make a lot of population protest, like shit, yeah. Hire gopniks, make dictatorship laws, shoot protesters with snipers, pack your trucks and helicopters with gold and run to Russia. Absolutely. Obsession with Zoki and Blanky, but you're mentioning Orban. He's incredibly frog looking. He disturbs me. He genuinely disturbs me. Oh yeah, Musk shaking Trump's hand. He's like, he smiles like, he's so weird. He's so weird. Imagine if you were watching a TV show. Imagine if you were watching a TV show and they were like, oh, this is how he introduced himself to maybe the next president, and they show that image. You would be like, bro, why did they make him so obviously a villain? Why did they make him so obviously evil? Like evil is just oozing off of his entire body. And now he's real. He's real, and he's just parading around, looking ridiculous, acting ridiculous, being ridiculous, and directly harmful too. Horrible. Are you not also making a sandbox by imagining there's a reality where we can maximize the amount of good lives? I don't really think I'm imagining a sandbox when I say that you should be doing actions that improve the lives of people around you. I don't really think that's imagining a sandbox. I do think every one of us has practical, realistic ways of improving the lives of people around us. I'm not really seeing that as like imagining a whole new reality. Yeah, he's a freaking moron, definitely. Absolutely. Musk will get his if Trump loses. Yeah. I don't know, he's rich.
Grim tales of Balkan hatred and fragmentation.
I feel he's going to float up. Yeah, can you imagine you have a turd? And he just like refuses to be flushed.
Saw the development of small, weak, and intensely nationalistic Balkan states.
Can you circle your reasoning, you clown? It's not like we're doing a debate on this.
Self-absorbed in their internal problems.
It's like, oh, you're using a
logical from centuries of neglect.
Logical mistake here.
Meanwhile, the decrepit Ottoman Empire was still limping along, despite the ever louder calls for revolution and national liberation of enslaved peoples, although with very little foresight about the peninsula as a whole. Already here, the Illyrian movement with Ljudevit Guy in Croatia and
what's good is improving lives.
Ilya Garashin in Outland in Serbia were
good
formulating
is doing
the first conceptions
the actions
of a
you can do
Yugoslav state. The Romanian principalities were also swept by revolutionary wind that seek to establish national unity.
He's been clearly
However,
violating
it is apparent that in this period before
election laws offering financial incentives.
A federation movement was virtually
Hasn't his mother made a Twitter post in which he was like, oh yeah guys, just like make up fake names and go to the polling booths to give more votes for Trump? Which was based, by the way, on the California law, which I'm salty about because I've seen this disinformation in Croatian media space. The state of California has, how was it? Basically, they said that cities or specific like parts of California cannot seek voter ID when people come to the voting booth, right? And the way this has been understood in Croatian media spaces, certain ones, deranged ones, not all of them, is that you just come there and you're like, hey, I want to vote, and they give you the ballot and you sign it and you go home. That was the idea, right? That they don't ask your name, they don't ask anything, they just like give you a ballot and that's it. It's not actually what's happening. You have to be registered as a voter still. They just can't ask for your ID specifically. But like, you still have to be registered as a voter. You still have to be on the list of voters in a specific place. It's not like anyone can come there and be like, yeah, I want to vote, and then you get to vote. That's just bullshit. That's bullshit. So they fully, yeah, you have to be registered. Absolutely. And it even says that if you read the law itself, it says that what they did is they basically wanted to create a situation where the rules are the same for everyone in California. Because what was happening is different cities had different demands when you come to the voting station. So like some of them were asking for the ID, some of them were not asking for the ID. And then the state of California was like, bro, you already have to be registered as a voter. Like you already have to go throughout the whole process of being registered, why would we then have more complications with each city having their own extra rules when all voters in the state of California have to be registered as voters already? So they were like, no, we can't have a situation where every city has their own rule. You all have the same rules. Your voters have to be registered, and yeah, you have to be a citizen to be registered, and that's that. But the way this has been misrepresented in Croatia was that, I don't know, I could come to California for a holiday and I hear, oh, there's voting in California, and I can just walk in and I can be like, hey, give me the ballot, I want to vote. And they're like, oh, we can't check your identity. So yeah, sure, vote. And they give me the ballot and I sign it in, and then, you know, I voted. That just bullshit. Yeah, the conspiracy was incredibly stupid. Do you believe that shooting at Trump was his idea? On one hand, I don't know. Because it did seem like there was a risk that he's gonna actually get shot in the first place. On another hand, there has been a third assassination attempt on him recently. And the third one, alright, it has failed like immediately when a sus person walked close, so I see that. But like the first 2 times, I don't know how a person could miss the biggest orange head that side of the ocean. You know what I mean? It's like... So no, I don't think he would arrange it, because it would be rather risky of him to arrange it. But at the same time, he has to have God or someone protecting him. I don't know. There's a deity. The deity is protecting him. Have you seen the size of that head? And it's orange. He's not a human color. He's orange. He like sticks out of the mass, and you miss that? How the fuck do you miss that? Like, come on, be real with me. There's the odds. I feel the cult around him. I feel that would be a very strong propaganda point for them. The cult around him, just be like, guys, someone has to be keeping him alive. He has some divine purpose, all right? He has some divine purpose. That's like Jesus reborn or some shit. He came here to fuck up casinos and, I don't know, destroy America. War. Come on. Way to disenfranchise people who don't have ID, which tend to be minorities, which tend to be voting Democrat. Yeah, it's... Because I think what we do here in Europe when conspiracies like that spread, I think we take our understanding of what an ID is and we try to apply it to USA, because you people don't have a proper ID system. You people are messy when it comes to that, I know that. Because here the situation is like everyone has an ID, you get it when you're 16. And everyone has to have it. Like, doesn't matter if you're a minority or someone, you have to have your ID. You have to have it on your person at all times. So here the situation with them like checking your ID is different. I remember talking on stream like a year ago or something. I was walking around the village with a friend. And it was the time where a lot of illegal crossings over the river have been made by immigrants. So the police was going around and they were checking your ID if they see you outside late at night. So they checked our IDs. They stopped the car and they were like, hey, are you locals? And we were like, yeah, we're from here. And they're like, can we get the ID? And we showed the ID to them and they were like, oh, yeah, okay, I see. Like, you fetched the image, says the location. All right, GG, go and enjoy. And I remember mentioning this on stream and people were like, what? You had your... Why did they ask for your ID? Why did you give them your ID? How come that you carried it with yourself in the first place? But like, you actually just, I don't know, you have it on you all the time. So I don't really know what was that weird about it. I don't know what was that confusing about the whole thing. And also I don't know how you have so many people who don't have it in the first place. That is weird. It's Satan, could be Satan, could be Satan. He was saved by God's hand, who then directed a bullet in the body of one of his voters. That's also true. Try to shoot a weapon, you will know how easy it is to miss. I see that. I see that. It's not as, easy as one would make it seem. I just don't know, man. I don't know. Like, his side has the worst shooters in the universe, then? Could be. Because so far, I know the last dude who tried to kill him assassination attempt number 3, the one who was stopped, was it yesterday, like, or something? I know that one, and I know that he was on the far right side of politics. He was one of those, you guys have those sovereign citizens. He was a sovereign citizen. And the first one was also a Republican. No, I don't know what the second one was. I don't remember that. But like, it turns out that it's like a far right skill issue because they're just horrible at shooting really big targets. Inside Job? Wait, let me save that. Haven't seen it, haven't heard of it, I think. Only legal requirement to carry ID is when driving? Or you have to carry it all the time? Did I not look and you had something... Wait, inside Job. Did I not look and you had something depending on the state? Or was that gun laws? That was gun laws. I'm seeing voter ID laws. State by state voter ID requirements. So you got states where photo ID is required, non-photo ID required, no ID required to vote at the ballot box. There. But like usual. Oh, identity documents in the United States. All right. Okay. Says currently citizens are identified by a patchwork of documents issued by both the federal government as well as individual state and local governments. The most common national photo identity documents are the passport and passport card, issued by the U.S. Department of State to U.S. nationals only upon voluntary application. For various reasons, the State Department can refuse an application for a passport or passport card. Really? Or you have various trusted traveler programs who do issue some photo IDs that are considered national photo IDs. You have the driver's license, operating as de facto national identity card. Each state also issues a non-driver state identity card, which fulfills the same identification functions as the driver's license, but does not permit the operation of a motor vehicle. I think that's kind of cute. Social security cards have federal jurisdiction, but they cannot verify identity. What? Sorry, when they talk about like, looks exactly like a driver's license. What the fuck are you people doing? So do you have proper ID? I mean, that is the proper ID, right? A driver's license and then fake driver's license. That's what you consider ID. You just can't do them without ID, like buying alcohol, a gun, voting in some states. Wait, so like if I want to go buy a gun, I need the driver's license or the fake driver's license. Is that how it goes? Driver's licenses issued in any state are recognized as valid identity documents in all other states. Okay. But like you don't... It says a driver's license is issued by each state's DMV, which is Department of Motor Vehicles. Each state's DMV can also issue a state identification card. It does not contain any endorsements to operate vehicles and can be used as official identification. So you have to go... It's a choice whether you want to get it or not. Hey, nice. Thank you for joining, and thank you. So you can wait. Real ID. I saw that Real ID Act. Prior to 2005, each state designed its own driver's license according to its own standards. And then in 2005, they passed an act establishing uniform standards for the design and content of state driver's licenses, delegated authority to the Department of Homeland Security to implement and regulate compliance with the act. So you have to have that one. But do you have to have that one? Do you have a thing where, like, when you're 16, 18, 21, I don't know what it is in USA, you have to go and get it? Provisions. I'm just seeing like requirements on how to get it, which seem a bit more complex than shit we have here. Oh, it's not a national ID system because the issuance of cards and the maintenance of databases have been left in state hands. Only if you're learning how to drive. That's kind of... Why don't you just have the thing with like making everyone get an ID when they're of certain age, and that's that? Just have a basic ID. So it's like a fake driver's license, or it's the real one. You could literally go indefinitely without an ID card and use a social security card and birth certificate as proof of ID. That is so weird to me, though. Your fucking birth certificate.
Non-existent in the Balkans.
So wait, if a state demands ID for you to vote, you just go there with your fucking birth certificate and they're like, yeah, okay, this is good. That's really, really interesting to me.
Especially Britain, Austria and Russia were determined to maintain the integrity of the Ottoman Empire, as was evidenced in 1832 and 1839. Accordingly, they were opposed to any united Balkan action which might jeopardize Turkish rule. The Balkan states, on the other hand...
This, by the way, so he's talking about the Ottoman Empire right now, but the attempts from the Westerners to keep the Ottoman Empire standing, even though it wasn't supposed to be standing at all, it's very similar to the attempts by Western states to keep Yugoslavia standing, and also very similar to the attempts by Western states to keep USSR standing. So in all situations, you had them desperately trying to keep these big imperialist projects constant, and of course it wouldn't work. You need to actually provide an ID card for the voting ID states. That's why it disenfranchises people, because they have to go through the trouble and expense of getting an ID card to vote. Oh, that is bullshit. Okay, that makes sense. Have to get it specifically for voting because you wouldn't need it for anything else. Man, that's bullshit. There's that messy little system. I understand now. So overall, getting rid of it, getting rid of the requirements doesn't seem to be as big of a deal, because you still are a registered voter anyways. You still do have the papers to prove that you are the citizen of the place. You don't have a specific fucking paper that you would need to be getting for this thing specifically for the voting. How messy is that system? Though? Republicans crafting those laws know exactly what they're doing. I understand that. I think it shows the most, though, when they like intentionally misrepresent it. Because I didn't know the details about your ID laws, but I knew that when I looked at the law itself, I found that voters still have to be registered, right? So you still have to be a registered voter in the state of California in order to be able to go to vote. So immediately it was like, oh, okay, Musk's mom is fucking lying when she is representing this. as if it's a situation where you can make up an identity and go to a voting station and vote 10 times, cast 10 different votes on like 10 different identities. Of course you couldn't, you're not a registered voter under 10 different identities. The fuck is that? So immediately, like, the fact that she was lying about this and misrepresenting it for the idiots that do follow her stupid son, I feel it made it obvious that there was some kind of a backstory to it, but knowing it now, it's even weirder. She was 16, tried to get into a bar with a fake ID. She pulled a gun, went denied entrance, and shot 6 people. Holy shit, why can 16-year-olds have a gun? Bro, a 16-year-old, that's a stupid little person. Why would you give them a weapon?
And were interested only in gaining their independence and extending their...
So I do support. How did the thing go? I remember you people had conversations, Americans, I mean, when I say you people, about punishing the parents of kids who do mass shooting too, specifically because of that one kid who did a mass shooting in a school with a gun that his parents gave him, even though they were warned about his personality. So I wonder, like, if that's going to go into action. I wonder if it's going to lessen the number of dumbass teenagers getting access to weapons if the parents are actually, you know, worried about suffering the consequences too. You people, I mean...
During the revolution of 1848,
USA explainers, USA understanders,
were diverted and utilized for the defense of the Habsburg Empire. Not all, however, was pure loss. The national unification movements had been temporarily checkmated, but the desire for unity remained. If the Turkish and Austrian empires were to be overthrown, it was apparent now that the subject peoples should practice cooperation rather than mutual extermination. Accordingly, in the decade after 1849, repeated efforts were made to unite the peoples of Southeastern Europe against their oppressors and to set up a Danubian Federation of free nation-states. The first proposals for this curious project emerged in the midst of the 1848 revolution in Austria, where Hungarian statesman Lajos Kossuth saw the necessity for joint action of Serbs, Hungarians, and Romanians in their resistance against their Austrian and Russian oppressors. Their negotiations repeatedly failed, however, due to 2 conflicting conceptions. The one aiming to maintain Hungarian territorial integrity as a unitary state, and those striving towards confederalization. The latter one aimed for the creation of the United States of the Danube, which would include Hungary, Serbia, Moldavia, Wallachia, Bukovina, and Bessarabia.
No Croatia on the list.
This more decentralized approach
which is kind of cruel.
Was akin to the upcoming Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867, but was aiming to balance out 3 sides instead of 2. But all these integrative efforts ended up failing under similar circumstances, their origin always being short-sighted particularist interests of the local ruling elites, which wanted a larger portion of the pie to themselves, at the detriment of the interests of the wider working population. With the Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867, the Danubian Federation movement, for all intents and purposes, came to a bitter end. In short, each of these groups was interested in the
By the way, I don't know how
federation
much you know about the Greater Hungary thing, but like, see this? Croatia goes here, and then we go here, and then we go here. Hungary is claiming these parts. Hungary is claiming these parts specifically. Not this one, like here close to Istria. This is actually claimed by Italy. And there was a video sent to me recently by Giorgia Meloni in 2000, I believe it was 14, it might have been 2012, talking about how she will never accept Croatia as a reliable partner until we give them Istra, which is like this here part. She said that she will never like take us seriously until we give the entire part of Croatia back to Italy, because she feels they deserve it.
In short, Each of these groups was interested in the federation movement, not for its own sake, but only insofar it might satisfy its national aspirations. Once these were fulfilled, at least partially, by the union of the principalities and by the Ausgleich, the Danubian Federation movement automatically became extinct. Incorrigible revolutionists like Mazzini continued to agitate for the overthrow of the Ottoman and Habsburg empires and for the establishment of democratic federations, but their activities were of little practical significance. Rather, the center of interest now shifted to Belgrade, where Prince Mihailo was successfully negotiating with his neighbors for the formation of a purely Balkan alliance system directed primarily against Turkey rather than Austria.
I can even
but
agree
one
with
thing is for sure. Regardless of what time period or historical figure we're talking about, you gotta admit that those beards and mustaches are something to behold.
No,
If
they're
you've ever
not
wondered
impressive.
if that amount of drip is even attainable, no
Hey, did you read a book
because
recently?
Manscaped, the
I'm
sponsor of
reading
today's video,
Don
has
Quixote
got
still.
covered. With the might of their
I'm
beard
still
header
reading
pro
this
kit
one.
at
This
your
is the
disposal,
first
anything
part,
is possible.
and then I have the
Now,
second
obviously,
part.
the star of the
and
game
I'm
is the
trying
beard
to like,
header trimmer.
fuck, wait, now
The
I have to pause
powerful
the video.
7200.
I'm trying to do the analysis of the entire book as I'm reading it, and really, really cool. He was actually, the man was a weeb of his time. That's what he was. You know how you have weebs today who like watch a lot of anime and then they go to Japan, and then in Japan they like think the girls are going to be as the anime girls are, so they go to them and they're like konnichiwa, and the women are like, huh? It's basically who this dude was. He was basically that. He was reading so many of his stupid novels that he was approaching women thinking that they are characters from the novels, and he was trying to speak to them in such a way, and they were like, huh? It's such a funny little thing. I forgot how funny it is. I haven't read it since like elementary school. I haven't read a book in like 15 years. No, why? No, not any? Not any? That's kind of sad. Maybe one day you go back into reading. Maybe when I remind you that did you know Mass Effect has books? And 7 Day is coming soon. Fuck, I don't have the book saved. I thought this was the part of the books, but M7 Day is approaching. M7, holy shit! And the books are probably going to be on sale upcoming because they were last year and I didn't get them last year because I'm a stupid little fool. So I'm hoping to be able to get them this year. There's like 4 books about Mass Effect written and I'm hoping to go through all of them. What the fuck did I want to open? Oh, this. My eyesight is failing. Can you like do what's the word? Audiobooks? My mother does audiobooks recently and it's really, really cool. It's helping her a lot. Though I do imagine if it's not an interest of yours, then possibly it wouldn't be worth it, right? Because you do have to, try to seek them out. And then some of them are better than the others. Some of them are rather bad and they just destroy everything. But yeah, I'm hoping that there's a lot of content you can be consuming. With e-readers, you can enlarge the text. Oh shit, yeah, that took... I prefer visual things. Oh, what do you do then? Movies? Do you watch a lot of movies? German scientists are fair in Egypt. Oh, wait, what? Did you know Egyptian military was so shit? They weren't able to produce missiles themselves, so they hired 200 Nazi scientists who developed the V-2 rocket by promising them to hit Israel. What a book is that? Holy shit. Oh, I love that. I love that. Nazis promised them to make a rocket that hits Israel, and they were like, yeah, sure, let's cooperate with Nazis on this. Do you think they were looking for allies? And they put up an ad, and they were looking for someone to help us develop a rocket that can hit Israel, and Nazis were immediately like, me, I'm coming. I'm running to you. Oh, what the actual hell? I had no idea about that. And I have to also show you my European affairs on the European correspondent, and then I have to go soon. I gotta be going soon. I gotta be leaving soon. It's 11:53, and I have work today. I don't know if I cried to you already about this, but I'm gonna be crying about it now. I have work today, and I have to work afternoon, and I actually have to work the afternoon shift the entire week. The entire fucking week of afternoon shifts. Disgusting. The God's Delusion. Wait, is that the one? What's his name? The edgy atheist dude. Dawkins? Is that the Dawkins book? Yeah, it's the Dawkins book. Yeah, I got that one. And I got what's his other book? Fuck, I know the name in Croatian. What's the name in English? Devil's something? Oh shit. Devil's Chaplain? That one, I guess. That one. Still stuck on the Old Testament. Man, I read the entirety of that when I was 12 and really into my religious phase. Entirety of that. Holy shit. They did have some really good passages in the Bible, though. I remember some really, really good passages. I remember one specific really good passage on Judas. One poem that was really, really good, and I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I don't remember the poem itself, but I remember I was reading it and I was like, wow, this is well written. Dork wrote a lot of books, yeah. True. And then his brain rotted away, so. Operation Damocles. Wait, let me save that. I'm happy you're back into reading now. I know you said that you're not really interested in books anymore, so I'm happy. Whoa! Oh wait, Operation Damocles was a covert campaign of the Israeli intelligence agency, which targeted German scientists and technicians, formerly employed in Nazi Germany, who were developing rockets for Egypt at a military site. The rockets were being developed for a program to use radioactive waste? Shit. Oh shit, that is... Man. And then they got hit. Oh man. What is that? Oh, Netflix. They're talking about Netflix series. Isn't there supposed to be... Which one is supposed to be? Oh, this is Eastern Europe. I want this. I don't want to know about France and their Emily in Paris thing. I don't care. Let me see. Eastern European news. Armenian Jesus. Armenia is set to put up a 33-meter statue of Jesus on Hatice Mountain, positioning it as among the largest Christ statues in the world. The statue should serve as a guardian of the country and people while making a statement to the international community. Doesn't Armenia have bigger problems than they could be using money for? Just a day after construction began, the Armenian Culture Ministry intervened, halting the project due to the site's historical significance. Mount Hati is home to several state-protected ancient monuments. The design contest for the statue damaged a pre-Christian fortress atop the mountain. They're like, we're going to put a 33-meter Christ statue on here. And in building it, we're going to destroy the monuments created by cultures before Christianity even came here. Man. Some view this as an important architectural landmark and a testament to Armenia's Christian heritage. This will attract tourists from around the world to see the Armenian statue of Jesus Christ, which is beneficial for our economy. Will it, though? Don't they have stories connected to these things? Maybe, okay, I don't know how it goes. The religious place close to me, they have a whole story of like how this was a church of Virgin Mary, and then the war came and the war destroyed the church. And then the statue of Virgin Mary was being protected by the priest and by the locals and hidden away. And then by boat driven back here so they could like build a church around it. So there's a whole story about, how she was protected by the community, who itself was in grave danger because Serbs were going around killing everyone. We have other places, like there's one in Bosnia where I used to be, which is the one where there's this woman that imagines she spoke to Virgin Mary as a ghost, and the Pope constantly keeps on being like, yeah, I can't say if this is true or not. If you want to go pray there, go pray there. Just recently, a few months ago, he like refused to confirm it's a holy place, but he also didn't say it's not a holy place according to Christianity itself. He was basically like, yeah, if you want to believe it's holy, go and pray there. And if you don't think it's holy, then don't go to pray there. I can't like make this decision for you. But I feel usually they have a story connected to the place, and I feel you gotta have a story connected to your 33-meter statue. And I don't know what story they're going to have apart the one of, Armenia being betrayed by its allies and now really needing economical assistance from other countries in order to be able to survive in the way it is. Odd Bible, you can get 3 months premium for 91 cents each. You get 1 free audiobook a month, regardless of price and length. Nice! 91 cents each. Wait, Audible. Well, let me save it. Are you listening to audiobooks? Oh, found it. Audiobooks, podcasts, and Audible originals. Are you listening to the book? Or are you reading the book? I've never tried actually listening to a book. I'm scared I'm gonna get distracted. I'm scared I'm gonna be doing some shit. It's like because when I read, I have to be turning the pages. And even now, I have like the book that I'm reading, and then I have a notebook where I'm writing the notes. So it's like at the same time, I do both, and it stops me from being distracted. Now, when I listen to audiobook, I feel writing the notes might be easier, but I'm kind of scared that I'm gonna like drift off. Haven't used it yet? Oh damn! It seems like a great option though. Yeah, 91 cents. That's basically nothing. I've read plenty atheist books. Oh, nice. What was your favorite one? Much easier to get distracted. I don't want that. I can't even listen to podcasts. I cannot listen to podcasts. I was trying to listen to Dr. K yesterday, the podcast I mentioned with like old people having sex. I was trying to listen to that, but at the same time, I was playing Teamfight Tactics. And then when Teamfight Tactics was slow, I was playing Pocket Camp and fishing in Pocket Camp. And at the same time, I had my Photoshop opened where I was collecting images for like the new Garry's Vakarian design that I'm planning. And I was doing all of that at the same time. So what I remembered from the podcast, is it a podcast? I guess. I don't know, 2 dudes talking, a conversation. What I remembered is stuff that kind of like pushed through all of that. And I'm scared that if I try to listen to audiobooks, it's going to be the same thing, but I'm going to be like doing 5 different things on the side. And then the sentences I remember are just the ones that manage to actually, get through. Oh yeah, driving is another thing. Yeah, I feel that could work. The Atheist Bible, never heard of that. Wait, let me save that. I know there was a online source. I don't know what it was called, but there's an online source existing. It's like Wikipedia, but for atheists. And I was using this so much when I was in my edgy teenager phase, and when I was fighting with people around me believing in stupid shit, because it had ways of debunking basically all of the like spiritual bullshit. And the Atheist Bible kind of reminds me of that. Like the word reminds me of that. Belarus. Imagine scrolling through your social media, casually checking Facebook or Telegram, when a post catches your eye. People needed for one-time work on Sunday. 2 hours of work, payment based on results. You're a Belarusian immigrant. Like many forced from their homeland, you could use the extra cash. So you reply. You're offered money, not for a regular gig, but to spy on fellow Belarusians. And who's your kind employer? The Belarusian KGB. Holy shit! Sergey, a Telegram user with a faceless nickname, has been posting offers in group chats used by Belarusians across the world. He offered payments for filming Belarusian gatherings, like Freedom Day marches or scientific symposiums of Belarusians in London. What? Oh man, fucking Belarus. According to Freedom House, Belarus itself was responsible for 31% of recorded transnational repression incidents in 2021. Belarus. Tiny little place. In the past, Belarusian government has gone to even great lengths to crush dissent abroad. Latushka, a prominent opposition leader in Warsaw, alleges that the Belarusian Secret Service uses organized crime gangs to terrorize exiles within the European Union. Belarus is not the only country in the region involved in transnational repression, yet the European Union's inadequate response ends with mere recommendations and forgotten reports, offering little protection for vulnerable exiles. Holy shit! One chilling case is the suspicious death of Vitaly Shishov, co-founder of the Belarusian House in Ukraine. In 2021, he was found hanging from a tree in what many believe was an assassination orchestrated by the Belarusian regime. Shit. And then there was the audacious Ryanair flight hijacking in May 2021. Oh yeah, I remember this. Roman, right? Ryanair flight traveling from Athens to Vilnius was forcibly diverted. Opposition journalist Roman Protasevich and his girlfriend Sofia Sapega were arrested. Yes. Man, I like how they're calling out European Union for doing nothing about it. European Union's inadequate response ends with mere recommendations and forgotten reports. I like that. It's just I don't think it's really going to make a change, but I like that, we're being reminded of it. No. I thought I would be like, oh yeah, the number of alerts is getting, I don't know. I hoped for it to get lower. Total officially reported air raid alarm sounded from 15th March 2022 to 30 September 2024. I did see some people saying that they're likely slowing down now because they're going to get more stronger during the winter. But as I see here, it's like winter. I don't know if that's what they're based on, really. I don't feel that's the pattern. Number of air raid alarms per region. Man. Permanent alarm. Holy shit. That is just horrible. That is just horrible. Died 3 times. You know what I saw on the other side? The damn thing. Oh shit. I loved when I was in I think it was elementary school. There was this story of a woman who died and went to hell and saw the Pope. Do you remember that? Was someone alive at the time? It converted so many of my childhood friends who were like flirting with atheism. So many of them became Christian right afterwards. Saw Pope in hell. When was this? Which year was this? Oh, 2011. A girl from Ecuador. Yeah, that's the one. For 23 hours, she was shown the kingdoms of heaven and hell and the return of Christ. Yes. And I remember that at the time it was like, you know how it is when you're a teenager and you're like trying to figure out where you stand on the whole thing. And this story made the newspapers in Croatia. And man, oh, that was weird. And then you had people who didn't trust it. And you had other people being like, well, why wouldn't you trust it? It's not like she's getting paid for this. Why would she be lying? So then we asked the religious professor about this. And he was like, no, I can't tell you if it's true or not. But like, what he told us was basically, if it makes you more of a believer, then you can believe it's true. And if it makes you like shake your faith, if it makes you kind of wobble, then it's okay to acknowledge that it likely didn't happen. But like whether it's true or not depends on on the effect it had on you as a person and as a believer. So that was other. UN Top Climate Change Conference. Oh man, I got a message and I hoped it was my paycheck. But it's not. It's a volunteering thing. United Nations Top Climate Change Conference taking place in Baku from 11 to 12 November 2024. With its poor human rights track record, fossil fuel reliance, and war crime accusations, Azerbaijan is the worst place to host this conference. Oh, great. While the past two editions, hosted by Egypt and UAE, already questioned the purpose of the conference and the commitment to sustainability, this year the event risks becoming a joke, as if it already wasn't. Countless advocacy groups, human rights organizations, and sustainability experts are blaming Azerbaijan for using the conference to greenwash their significant fossil fuels industry and whitewash the reputation of its authoritarian leader. I don't know what they're doing with like, oh no, this event is going to make UN seem like they're all idiots when we already know they are. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, 92.5% of a country export revenue in 2022 came from oil and gas exports. Great. Fucking great. With such a heavy reliance on fossil fuels, Azerbaijan is not interested in limiting fossil fuel extraction, a key component to meet the world's climate targets. Yeah, of course they're not interested. Who in UN even makes these decisions? Like, who decides where the climate change conference is going to happen? How is this decided? Why is it even allowed to be held here? Why would you do that? In February this year, Aliyev allegedly won 92% of the presidential vote for his fifth consecutive term. His wife is the vice president and the next in power. Their son is hoping to ensure a full takeover of the country's governance. Man. In 2022, Azerbaijan launched a successful military offensive on previously Armenian-controlled areas in Nagorno-Karabakh. In September 2023, Azerbaijan seized full control of the area, ethnically cleansing 120,000 ethnic Armenians who, out of fear for their survival, left the territory. Holy shit. Holy shit, that many. In recent years, countries with highly dubious climate track records have seemingly captured COP. Last year, the United Arab Emirates hosted it in Dubai, a city that only gained its riches through oil. A year before that, another fossil fuel-powered country, Egypt, invited global representatives to Sharm el-Sheikh. The results of both conferences were rather meager. The fuck is that word? The Loss and Damage Fund has not been put to work yet, and Western countries are already posing their contributions to it. Azerbaijani government has dubbed the conference as a finance COP, where countries should agree on a financial target to support developing countries. Oh man, that's horrible. Only moral thing for Europe to do is to boycott COP29. I feel the only moral thing is for Europe to like boycott United Nations overall, but yeah, let's take the private jet, absolutely. Private jet to fucking Azerbaijan. Let's take a private fucking jet to go to Azerbaijan to talk about climate change, because that's a smart decision, is it not? How much do I want to go get tattoos? I want to get tattoos. Do you get people like seeing your tattoos and then they see that it says atheist and do they ask you questions? Because I had an acquaintance. He hasn't been to my workplace in a long time, but he had a Christian tattoo. It was just like, is it rosary in English? The thing that grannies used to pray. He had that tattooed, and I always wanted to be like, why do you have that? Because he's not really living the Christian values as much as I know. Like, we're talking about a man who was divorced because he kept on cheating on his wife. He was constantly coming into the shop to buy alcohol and to buy cigarettes. He wasn't really, living a life that you would see and guess it's a life of a religious person. And I always wanted to be like, what do you mean by this? How? Why? What's the point of the tattoo? But I was always like, I can't ask this because I don't know if it's rude to ask people with tattoos about their tattoos. Because usually, when a person has something on their body, asking about it is a bit not really recommended. You know what I mean? Not really a thing that many would recommend you to do. So I never know if it's proper. Does tattoo have any effect on your job search? Oh, see, that's an interesting question. I feel it might depend on what the job in the question would be. But also I'm feeling a lot of jobs are more friendly towards people with tattoos recently. I'm seeing a lot of tattooed people everywhere, really, everywhere. Imagine you get between 50 euros and 100 euros to vote against the EU. Oof. That's what Moldovans are asked to do. The pro-Russian oligarch Ilan Shor financed a corruption scheme to influence what can be considered Moldova's most defining presidential election. 14 million is being transferred to 130,000 Moldovans in exchange for an anti-European Union vote. What the hell? Wait, what do you do then? Bulgaria is also set to cast its vote in the upcoming weeks, and the country's president is warning about existing election fraud schemes. What do we do then? Also happened in Georgia, Armenia, and Ukraine. Why do citizens feel compelled to take these bribes? But the question is, how is this going on? How do we know a scheme involves up to 14 million euros being transferred to Moldovans in exchange for an anti-EU vote? So we know who's involved in the scheme. Why are they not all getting arrested immediately? And warnings given to every single person who got a cent of this money. What the fuck is this? Okay, I understand what she's talking about here. But I'm not really a fan about how she's being like, why do citizens feel compelled to take these bribes? Ha ha ha. Oh look, our Eastern salaries can't buy Western priced groceries. So because we are so poor as a country, our citizens take these bribes. I'm not really happy that she's focusing on voters instead of focusing on whoever the fuck is bribing them and the punishments needed to be imposed against them. And that's really concerning. Holy shit. Can't just be like, oh yeah, well... people are poor, so it happens, Face tattoos? Oh yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a good face tattoo. I genuinely don't know if I have ever seen a properly done... How relevant is Alexander Dugin? Fuck that man. Have you seen that Kadirovits want to kill him? Because that's what's going on. Kadirovits wants to kill the man. I posted this as a response to it. Kadyrov's men are promising to impale Dugin. This devil deserved only such an execution. This is an old Russian custom. A stake in the ass and let him sit, Kadyrov said. Don't get too hopeful. It's probably not going to happen, but I still thought it was funny. Face tattoos are not good for finding a girlfriend too. Yeah, true. Because they kind of look a bit clownish. It's really, really hard. Oh nice, we ended with this. I do have to leave soon, so that's good. It's really, really hard to find ones that actually add something to your looks without taking it out. I don't know. I just saw the ugly ones. Maybe it's... You know what it is, actually, though, now that I think about it. The types of people who get face tattoos are also the types of people who get ugly tattoos. I think it might be that. Like, if a person with a proper aesthetic would have gotten a face tattoo, maybe it wouldn't look that bad. But usually, when you see a person who has face tattoos, it's a person who already has almost their entire body tattooed, and the style of tattoos on their body is also shit. So it's like... You know what I mean? It's like, it's the edgelords. It's the edgelords, usually. Maybe if someone with actually visually appealing tattoos were to get pushed into tattooing their face, they would figure out a design that is more complementary and less uglifying. But I have to leave. I have to go to work. Subtitle, I'm going to my job. I'm going to my job. I have to go and drive. Also, my paycheck is still not here, so cry with me. Fucking cry with me. But, yeah, we'll be driving to work soon, so I have to end the stream. Hey, yo, Orange Hue, how are you doing? So we'll be doing the next stream. I don't really know when. Hoping Wednesday, maybe. Hoping Wednesday, hoping Friday. I will let you know. I should be working second shift the entirety of the week, if there is a God. So, if something changes, I'll let you know. I will not have fun, but thank you. Moldovan elections are happening this Sunday, so, you know, be careful when following the news, and I'll not pray that pro-European Union side gets to win. I don't know if we have anything else strong incoming. Bulgaria is incoming. I know Croatia is incoming. Georgia is incoming next Sunday. So that's also going to be a really, really interesting election to follow. And I think that's that. So yeah, when the time for Croatian election comes, we're going to be following the Croatian election soon. Also, what I'm hoping to be doing this month, but wish me luck, I'm hoping to do some gaming streams, specifically because Mass Effect Day is approaching, and I really want to be playing the multiplayer. I don't know when's the last time you guys have played Mass Effect multiplayer. For me, it has been, I think, more than a year. Maybe 2 years. Yeah, maybe 2 years, and I kind of miss it. I kind of miss that stupid-ass game. So I really want to play it, but usually I don't feel like playing when I'm just chilling at home. So what we're going to do is we're going to do political conversations, and then every once in a while I go and I shoot up some Krogan. I feel that makes sense. Georgia will not have fair election ever again. I'm hoping for big protests. I'm hoping for big protests in Georgia if Georgian Dream wins. And I'm kind of hoping for big protests in Moldova soon. But I might be snorting copium just completely. You know what I mean? Just inhaling it fully. But I'm hoping for protest. I'm genuinely hoping that something big happens and that Russian influence weakens in the area. Yeah, it's copium, hopium, it's all of this stupidity at once. I'm just really, really hopeful we're going to see something happen. So, come on, be positive with me. Be positive with me. Something is going to happen. Something is going to happen. And if Georgian Dream wins, we are going to see some sort of a protest to kick the Russians out. I envy you, right? I envy you the right to vote. Oh, well, I hope that we fight strongly to keep it. So yeah, guys, see you Wednesday. Probably Wednesday. Have a good time. Send me news if you get any stuff. I didn't check Discord before today's stream, so I'll have to check it before Wednesday's stream to open a bunch of links. And yeah, stay strong, stay healthy, go earn your paycheck, go to gym to work out. I don't know what to tell you.